What is this? Hello, Michael. Hey, BV, how's it going? Create game.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Not much, you?
Not much.
Are you looking to debate someone today?
Sure. Just open Q&A kind of a thing normally I do on Sundays.
Oh, I see. Yeah. What's your position, if you don't mind asking?
On what?
Like, I don't know, are you religious or
Atheist.
you're an atheist? Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm just waiting for people to join in. So I just like to listen mostly.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Do you want to do chess in the park thingy?
Let's see, chess in the park.
Planner.
Yeah, I have no idea how this works.
Yeah, it's the first time I've tried it. But I clicked Park View, and if there's a game that only has one side of pieces, that's one you can join, essentially.
Okay.
If I can... Hello, Skeptically Pissed. That's a good name. Do you have a way to like add everyone?
Why are you talking to me?
Yeah, for like the server notifications or something, because I have not attempted to do anything in this server.
You could maybe try to ask the advisors or moderators. Wait, actually, hold on. What if you do this? Because this is your VC, right?
Yep, I just have not done anything to know how it works.
Okay.
Hmm. JL is
Los
on.
pingüinos Madagascar.
Hey,
Gringo. What?
hey.
Wait. You know Los pingüinos Madagascar. Don't know it. Okay.
Tag or idealism? Hey Udav, how's it going? Discord link. Discord link. Yes, I can get a Discord link. Invite. There's a Discord link. Copy. Chat. Discord link. Paste. That's because no one's talking. Smash button. There's no one in the room today. It's just me and Pistons, I think. Yep. Nothing is occurring at the moment. Is Amy coming? I don't know. Randolph, I don't definitely think is not coming because Randolph had internet issues, like construction near his home or something. JL and Amy are on his YouTube channel right now.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How's it going for you?
All right.
Cool. What's cool?
Wait, Crusader.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, no, I thought you were lagging.
No. I'm here. I'm just not talking.
Yeah.
So, like about that conversation yesterday, right? Like, what was your verdict? Because I feel like Len was very very confused the entire time about what I was talking about.
I did say, okay, so he did admit that he used the term of henotheism wrong.
Fucking right. What?
Right. But I feel like we both got it wrong because we were saying that there is, for example, a one uncaused first cause, like this necessary being, right? And then there's this like other beings, but they're contingent.
They're conditional basically upon the necessary being that necessarily makes this thing be the case. So, like, if second conditions are actually met for why they're made, right, to be made necessarily, which is my entire point. So that still is polytheism, my definition, obviously, right? With regards to him, my dad posits that someone's being worshipped or devoted to. So I'm like, that's not what I was talking about earlier. I actually acknowledge, right, a singular necessary ground, and that's simply it. Nothing else added upon that. But he kept arguing against me. I just don't know why. Like, it was
Yeah, I
stupid.
don't know.
I dead ass, like, I felt like I was like losing actual brain cells. I feel fucking that bitch. I look, that actually means that thing explicitly. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. That shit was really weird and stupid to me, honestly.
I think it would have been better if we said monolatrism, which is like, you know, you believe in the existence of many gods, but you worship only one deity.
Oh no, that's still not my view. I don't worship a single being in my view, right? I made up basically on spot to argue against I think fucking Natsu. I was just saying I acknowledge one necessary being and I let there be other beings too as well. That's simply it. And like for some reason like you try to argue against that because like I don't know, people just flawed perception of what politics actually is, right? It isn't necessarily positive like multiple necessary beings for every single annotation we can actually be, right? You have a very, very weird view of politics that doesn't actually involve multiple necessary beings. Like I literally like I really went on Google. I swear to God, I went on Google, right? At least
Mhm.
like multiple gods. Like if the Google, Oxford, like dude, every fucking dictionary website of all time was literally on my side. That's why he didn't use that. He's just looking Hinduism. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Hinduism? That's not what she's predicated on. it's based upon what the word actually means by itself, right? It's literally in linguistic structure. And for some
Yeah.
reason, like it just didn't acknowledge that. So I was like, what the hell are we arguing about, bro? I mean, like are we like crazy or not? I don't understand. Like, come on, like, dude, this is simple shit. I don't know, bro. It was really
I mean,
that was
the
like,
thing is, it's ambiguous because there's different terms, like we said earlier, because like what it means to be a polytheist. Well, some have this misconception. It's like, oh, well, polytheism is contradictory because it's like there's multiple necessary beings,
exactly.
right? But
Presupposes not.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
completely
But
not.
like, yeah, but like historically, it's mostly been used to like, people who worship pantheons, Zeus or Canaanite pantheons, who are like these, demigods or mini gods or whatever.
Exactly, like fucking like the literal Romans were the literal pagans for a long period of time, obviously, right? When worship Zeus, Poseidon, Hermes, all
Hmm.
that. So even though they posited multiple gods in their work, it's just polytheism, right? They worship one singular god, right? For say, for crop growth, for better rain seasons, basically all that. So at this point, it's kind of like, yeah, no shit's polytheism, right? They're literally worshiping a certain singular god. In my view, I never posited a single time, right, that I'm worshiping an actual god on my worldview. I just said I believe in like multiple beings that literally are there, which is simply it. Hey, by the way, I am not a polytheist, by the way. Let's keep that in mind. But I was arguing against Nazi for sake of arguing against Nazi, showing him why, like, that's only one version of polytheism. Right?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I didn't agree anyway from the beginning because he also said like, I mean, how Lemon is. He argues how the god of that the Israelites worshipped are from a Canaanite pantheon. But I don't know. I feel like I disagree on that part. I mean, that's why it was brought up with polytheism, for example, because he wanted to use like some reference
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
that.
saying. But like, you can't refer the definition of what polytheism means, right, upon a literal religion that actually posits a necessary being or multiple necessary beings, right? That's their version of polytheism, not my version of
Yeah.
polytheism. Exactly. So this cannot work at all because obviously you conflate my view with their view, which is obviously gonna be flooded fallacious. So at that point, I'm like, you can't do that, obviously. So I made it clear the entire time. You can't just it's like saying fucking like, yeah, okay, God means to me the Islamic God. Therefore, all gods ever conceived must be like an Islamic God. Of course not. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's obviously not the case at all, basically, right? Like, so you have distinct views that can actually be held in a singular view, like polytheism or monotheism, for example. Like, literally, we have
Hmm.
plenty of that literally are like monotheist, obviously, right? But if you have a different view of God, what God actually means or entails. So I can still be a polytheist, hypothetically, right? And hold to a certain view that actually has a distinct form of it, being positive, basically. But I'll pick that number up. That's fun too.
Yeah.
Later.
So what was the debate about? Like,
I mean, it was just like, the terms being used because they were arguing like yesterday about polytheism and how I think it was like polytheism doesn't make sense because there's multiple necessary beings that exist all simultaneously.
depends. Like,
But then we basically,
The other one off.
yeah, exactly. It depends how you define polytheism because the guy that I talked to just now, he said, well, I affirm. I don't know what's going on with my Discord. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my Discord. Anyway, so we basically say, well, there are multiple different polytheistic belief where there's like this one uncreated being, while there are many gods that are contingent or whatever. I mean, it's a silly, debate, anyways.
Well, it's definitely possible to have multiple necessary beings, but most polytheism doesn't use necessary being language. That's a very that's a very Abrahamic terminology. It doesn't really exist in polytheism.
Yeah. I mean, that was like one of the main premise. Like, well, which one is the one true God? That's the first uncaused cause, and how many of them can exist, and all that.
Well, any number can exist. There could be infinite, and that would be fine because a necessary being is just a being that was in all possible worlds. So there could be a committee of 800 necessary beings, and they would all possibly exist. That wouldn't be a problem. The problem would be in the theistic definition of a necessary being, like omnipotent or
One
whatever,
second.
has power over all other things. There can't be two things that have power over all other things because it would be self-contradictory or whatever.
Okay, I gotta put
Yeah.
the picture down.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, it's just silly conversation, really.
Permission to send messages. Oh shit! What happened to the YouTube? I don't know how to use this. Well, thanks for inviting me. How do I think? Up in here.
Anybody else have any interesting topics to talk about? God, morality, philosophy.
Disconnected. How can you say that religion's detrimental to someone's health when it's agreeable to a person's culture?
Say that again.
How can you say that religion is detrimental to someone's health only agreeable to someone's culture?
What is detrimental?
Like religion.
Or religion.
You know, it's because it's somewhat false. I mean, it's false. It's not factual. It's not and it's not like based on scientific data. But then it's agreeable to people's culture, like Islam. So it has to do with like their traditions and how they understand like your magical beings or whatever.
Well,
So
something being
what?
compatible with the culture doesn't make it healthy or not healthy. It's irrelevant. What makes something healthy is the psychological impact or the physical impact on the individual. So religion can be healthy. It has made benefits in many people's lives psychologically, but whether or not it's damaging would be a measure of its impact on the quality of life of not only the individual but the society as a whole. So, like many religious beliefs can hinder a society. For example, Islam banned mathematics and trade at one point during the 1200s, which made it from the most technologically advanced society in the world to one of the least advanced societies in the world. That was detrimental. And so religion on its own doesn't really say anything good or bad. It's what the impacts of the religion has that can make it good or bad.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
ഞങ്ങൾ 2 മാസം നടക്കും ഡെയിലി വരുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഉള്ളിയുടെ പറഞ്ഞു
D-jump.
Yep.
Do you think you can you think you could come up with like a philosophy that, I mean, basically you think that if you, I mean, like based on one objective reality, you think there's a philosophy for that one objective reality? I mean, if this is the church of the best possible world, the best possible world would be one objective reality, or would it be a collection of different realities?
Well, there's only one reality. Reality is all things that exist.
Okay. But do you think that you can come up with one philosophy for everyone, or that's not that possible?
One philosophy for everyone to be what?
To believe. Like, do you think that is possible to come up with one philosophy that everyone can believe?
You mean like, does everyone have the psychological disposition to like one
Yeah, to
particular
make
idea?
Well, like don't like for example, don't be polite, don't be rude, treat everyone with respect. Not something so deep, but like something that everyone can agree to. Like be polite. Don't use don't use the N word. Don't say the F word. Be polite. Do not destroy people's reputations. Respect
No,
human being. No, not possible for one philosophy for everyone.
no. People like take the simplest possible thing. 1 + 1 = 2. Philosophers will disagree over that. Like, you'd have a Nobel Prize.
Give me evidence for it, dude.
That's a hypothesis.
Welcome.
If anybody would like, you can play chess in the park. I have a game open.
Cool beans, dude.
It is cool beans.
Trying to emulate Dilla Monkey.
I don't know.
Jim, why does Dillahunty not like you?
Probably because I argue against many left ideas, and he's very much on the left.
Correct.
Do you think the world that we live in is the best possible world, or do you think that there's a better one?
No, our world is definitely not the best of all possible worlds.
Obviously.
So, where does your church exist? In which reality does it exist?
There's only one reality. The church is just an organization. Like,
You just disproved your best possible word hypothesis, dude.
no. The hypothesis never was that it exists right now. That was not the hypothesis. So,
Are you trying to be pedantic or dogmatic?
neither. It's just basic how logic works. The hypothesis is about what's objective
I
morality.
love logistics, bro. I love logistics, my friend. Topic of debate, boys.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi, Tijam.
hey.
Tijam, I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is like you said anything that is proven with novel testable prediction is the only truth, right?
It's the one the evidence indicates.
Yeah. My argument is the existence of something that can be tested is in itself is a proof for the existence of God.
It doesn't make sense.
Please
No,
repeat.
because
He said the
if it is
existence of
consistent, you can
something.
only predict the,
So he said the existence of something that can be tested is proof of God.
the existence of something that can be predicted how it would behave in the future. Like
Define test.
That makes zero sense. It's like saying, "Hey, look, there is a potato. It must be God." Like, nope.
no, not like that,
Define
because
what
you know
Anish,
what I'm
define what you mean by test.
yeah, I mean like if we believe in a blind naturalistic unguided universe, that it is not obliged. The natural law is not obliged to be consistent. So if there is a consistent law in the natural universe, somebody has to make it consistent on the first place, who
No,
has to predict
I
its
agree.
behavior.
You can't prove that, but I agree.
no, so that is incorrect. That's called begging the question. The fact that
True.
there is no reason to believe it would be consistent, there's also no reason to believe it would not be consistent.
Okay,
True.
can I ask you one more question? Like, do you believe the absolute reality existed even before the evolution process?
Yes.
Good question.
And then suddenly, in that reality, this evolution created these human beings. And
Sure.
then, how can you explain why should that evolution give these human beings the perception to perceive the reality?
Why should it? It does. Why does it matter if it should?
Okay, yeah. So even if it does, it doesn't have to give the perception to perceive the actual entire reality.
And clearly it doesn't. We know perception doesn't.
For example, if you take a fish out for a fish inside the ocean, the perception inside the water is its entire reality. A snake, the perception of senses is its entire reality. So you cannot say whatever the human beings can study and predict is the only reality that exists in the actual reality world.
Yeah, but no
So
one says that.
by that logic in itself, there has to be reality outside human perception.
No, it just means that there can be things outside of human perception, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, because if it's outside of our perception, it could go either direction. It could go towards a god or away from a god. So the fact that there are things
No,
outside of our perception is not evidence of a god.
no, this argument is just to prove that there are things outside our perception. For God, I have another argument, but this
We
is
already
just to
knew that.
prove.
Like, everyone already knows there's things outside of our perception. Like, that's how we discovered electrons. They were outside of our perception.
Yeah. So to actually to know what outside our perception, we will have to see its effect in our world, right? Its effect.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The effect of that thing outside our perception is that there are consistent natural laws, and there are even natural law that is not obliged to give us the perception. The evolution gave us the perception to perceive the reality. Evolution doesn't have to give it. It's not obliged to give us the perception.
It doesn't need to be obliged. It doesn't make a difference whether it's obliged or not.
Okay. So let me bring it this way. Do you agree that the ultimate necessity cannot be measured by human perception?
If it existed, it could be.
No, anything that can be perceived through human perception comes under the category of things with arbitrary limits.
No.
Okay.
No.
So anything that has arbitrary
No,
limits
stop. So that's already
is
wrong.
dependent.
That's already wrong. Like, no. Like, if there is a necessary being
What?
that didn't have any arbitrary limits, you could make testable predictions. Like, the Sky Daddy who is
Yeah,
unlimited
yeah,
will
yeah,
give me a gold brick when I pray. And if you prayed and got a gold brick, that would be observable. Whether or not the observation has a limit doesn't mean that the thing that it's indicating has a limit.
T-Jump.
No,
Yeah.
what's my argument is anything that can be perceived through human perception is a thing that anything that can be measured is we can only measure something with the tool of mass, momentum, speed, density,
Yes. Anish,
length, width.
the fact
With those,
the observation is not the same thing as the hypothesis. So if we observe things going around like a black hole, we're not observing all of gravity everywhere. We're just observing the expected result of gravity, and that's evidence of all gravity everywhere. You don't need to see everything of the thing to be evidence of it. So even if
no, we don't have to
part of
see
God,
everything of the thing. What I'm saying, I'm actually talking it from our perspective.
it doesn't matter. So even if we see a tiny part of God, so God has no arbitrary limits, but he showed himself to somebody in a dream or whatever, that would still be evidence of a thing that has no limits. You don't need to see all of the limits for it to be evidence. Doesn't make any sense. Did somebody else have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, go.
Before I go, this is a really great stream. Thank you, T-Jump. You know, I got make me so much more smarter. My question is, what if is it possible? I mean, you might say it's not possible because you can't provide proof of it, but is it possible that I'm not saying that, like I don't think I'm not telling you to lie, but is it possible, knowing what you think is possible or everything that you think is possible, that what if this reality that everything's real is just fake? Everything about this reality is wrong, and then there's another reality that's the opposite of this. Is it possible that is that
No.
possible? I mean, because you said reality is everything. If reality is everything, does that include things that are wrong and right? What if this reality is wrong, the opposite of the correct one?
I do
Is that
not
possible?
understand the question. So, like, right and true are things that correspond to reality, and false is things that don't correspond to reality. So, it's just
Okay, I'm sorry.
sentences that describe
I meant like,
reality.
what if like everything about this reality that we're in was wrong, and then um like everything that we did was wrong. Like everything that we said was a lie. Everything that we knew was wrong, and then this reality
Like if
just
we're in the
included
Matrix or
everything that was
something.
wrong. No, not the Matrix. Like everything is just wrong. Like it was the wrong logic. The way that we live our lives, like the way that we have to work 5 days a week, the way that we work 9 to 5, everything was wrong. I mean, it was the correct recipe, but it was just like
What do you mean
it's
by
like there's
wrong?
a
Like
recipe, but it's
not the
gone
most
wrong.
efficient
Like
or not the
no,
best?
it's life. Life it's life, but it's wrong. Like it's like
What do you mean by
you have
wrong?
like you have beer, but it's served at the wrong temperature. It's supposed to be served cold, or it's coffee, but it's
What do
served
you mean by
supposed to be served
wrong?
hot.
What is the right temperature?
Wrong. Like for example, it's beer, but it's supposed to be served cold, so therefore it's served at the wrong temperature, warm, or it's
Supposed
supposed to be served
to
cold.
by what standard?
Like
Like, is there some? Are you saying there's some fact of reality? Beer must be served at 26 degrees.
yeah, for example, like something that's pleasable to us. Like for example, like coffee is better drank warm, or hot. Beer is
Never had
supposed to be served
Guinness.
cold. Yeah, Guinness is good. I had Guinness when I was um in the UK. Guinness is
Did
good.
you
Yeah,
have it
stout.
warm?
Oh, I didn't have it warm. Is it? It
You're a
was like
heretic. Get
bitter.
out.
Yeah. But what if it was wrong? Like like beer is
I don't
supposed to be
speak
served
to
cold.
beer heretics.
Again, you have
Right.
to define what you mean by wrong. Like,
Wrong. Like it's just not agreeable to any of us. It's not
if nothing
it's
was
like
agreeable to any of us, we wouldn't do anything. Lots of things are
That's what a heretic would say.
yeah, I know.
agreeable.
It's just like there are a lot of things in the world that are not going, well. Okay.
Not
So
really.
I don't agree with everything.
So, like, the world is getting
Like
better, significantly better in pretty much every respect.
yeah, that's a good way to see things.
It was just a fact. So, like, if you think of violent deaths in society, take the worst possible time period you can think of. What is the worst possible time period you can think of for violent deaths for human culture?
The Dark Ages.
Dark Ages. That would be like 1400s.
Yeah, Middle Ages, like
Okay.
Joan of Arc.
So
400s, not 1400.
So if we
For
take
sure.
those time periods, there are a number of polls of data where people took skeleton data and compared how many skeletons in that time period died of violent deaths. And if the further back you go, the higher percentage of people die from violent deaths. It was like 15%, I think. 15% of the oldest pre like industrialized, pre-governed societies, about 15% of people died from violent deaths. And then if we go forward, like Dark Ages or whatever, now Dark Ages included like disease and stuff, which we didn't really have control over, but violent death rates went down. By that time, I think it was down to like 8%. And then if we go to the like Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, violent death was about 1% of human population. Today it's like 0.0 something percent. And so violent deaths from the earliest times to today has been going down significantly going down. And the same thing applies to like child deaths. Most like 40% of children used to die before the age of 15 in the olden times. Now it's like 4%. Same with poverty. All of this statistics are improving everywhere in the world pretty much for human well-being.
Yeah.
Anyone want to join my chess game in Chess in the Park? What is my rating? My rating is about 2,000. Let's see. Chess icon profile. Share screen. Those are my ratings. Let's see. Lee chess. Share screen. Lee chess. Here go ratings. I don't know what beast mode is. Beast mode chess rating? Hello, Sing. Tim Bob, sort of. There are some very attractive chess chicks like Anna Cramling. Yes, Carlos, this is live. Facebook Marketplace. I'm buying a new bike. Peloton? No, not a Peloton. It is a recumbent. That is right. Recumbents are Chad mobiles. That is correct. What?
Okay, yes.
What's the debate topic, Tom?
Pretty much open discussion. So any topic is fine. Is this? Yes, Carlos. This is a new server. This is the Politics and Islam server. Invite, copy, link, invite, paste.
I'm calling copy that Roger over out.
Do I have a book recommendation on logic? Yes, it would be what's it called? Gödel Escher Bach. It's Gödel Escher Bach. That would be one on logic. Your brain will bleed. It is insanely boring, but it teaches you logic.
Have you had actual discussions about politics in Islam here?
Nope. I've only been in here one other time, which was last Thursday.
I've always been curious if Muslims would regard themselves as theocrats.
Well, I imagine so.
So would I, but I've been surprised about that a couple times.
Anybody have any like at all? Can you like at all? So tell the server, come join the T-Zone server. Give me Muslims. Anybody else have any topics to talk about?
Nope.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, I think I was speaking to you last week about your model of morality. You might not remember. Brought up the issue about like intention,
Yep.
possible worlds. And I think you kind of said that either you'd have to have a situation where people would be forced to treat others how they wish to be treated, or like they just have to want to do it somehow. Like everyone just does it. That's the only way you could achieve this alternative model.
Yeah, essentially.
So I was wondering, like, what if I just bit the bullet on saying yes, we're going to have this added restriction, and we're going to stop people from feeling how they want to feel in terms of how they treat others, and that they just actually just treat others how they wish to be treated. That they say that it's like a moral law that just makes people intuitively feel that that's what they want to do without them knowing of any other possibilities. They just feel that way. What would be like inherently wrong with that?
Forcing people to think a particular way without their consent seems like slavery a bit.
You think it sounds like slavery?
Yeah. So, like, if you force all people to think a certain way and stop them from thinking another way without their consent, then yeah, that seems bad. Like, it seems like a moral option would be to give them all of the information, let them decide for themselves. You can say, like, here's all of the possibilities, and possibility A is moral or whatever, but giving them the option to decide for themselves seems like a moral option, whereas deciding for them without their consent seems like an immoral option. And so it wouldn't be a moral world if you forced everyone to do that.
But let's just say that they just feel that way. Like they're just determined to feel that way. Like they don't know any different. It's just part of their consciousness, or I don't know, biochemistry to always want to do that for people, and like it doesn't seem like there would be anything inherently wrong with that.
Well, it's like if you pre-program them to all feel that way, that would mean they had no like consent in the matter. They were all forced to feel one way, which would be immoral. Secondly, you would have to fundamentally, forcibly change people who currently exist. So the people who do like to think that way right now would either have to be like eradicated, or you'd have to manipulate their brain state in a way they didn't consent to, which would also be immoral.
Yeah, I think you have those Frankfurter cases where you make a decision of your own free will, but if you don't, you get zapped, and then you do it anyway, kind of like that.
What?
Have I got that right? The Frankfurter cases where you make a decision of your own free will, so to speak, but if you go to make the other decision, then something in your brain zaps you and makes you pick what you were originally going to pick anyway.
Well, in your example, you said they couldn't even conceive of the alternative. They don't even know about it. Remember?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And so that would mean you'd have to like psychologically disable them more or less so that they can't know about it. It'd also be immoral to like say if they didn't pick anything, they'd get zapped or whatever, but it would be probably less immoral, but still immoral to make them unable to recognize the possibility. Either way, it seems like it would be less moral than giving people the option to choose for themselves, one way or the other.
Yeah. Because I think you said last time is like you could, on your model, you could have everything that my model was suggesting, but just have the choice whether to have it or not, and that makes yours better. And people, if they're presented with both, they're just going to prefer to go to your world rather than mine.
Probably, yeah.
But then at that point, is it not just tracking like something else other than morality? Is it not at that point just tracking preference satisfaction if you just prefer to have this option than another one?
Well, no, because preference satisfaction could include things like owning other people or whatever. So it's preference satisfaction, but without involuntary imposition of will. So the involuntary imposition of will is what it's tracking, and that's what I think the definition of morality is. And in your
Right.
case, you have an involuntary imposition in that you disable their brains in such a way that they can't imagine doing bad stuff or bad feelings or whatever. Whereas I think the involuntary imposition there is immoral. We should do away with.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I just had a thought from last time we spoke, and I said to you at the time that it doesn't seem like it would be a good idea to put this restriction on people. But when I think about it, I'm like, well, what would be inherently the problem with that? Oh, some background noise.
Oh, yeah, I think that's Enigma. Yeah. So, what would be the problem with disabling people's brains so they can't think something that you don't want them to think? That seems like slavery. It doesn't seem like it's moral to be able to program other people's brains in the way that you think they should act. I think having the self-determination to decide for themselves is what's moral. And so that's what would be wrong with it, would be that you were forcing people to think a particular way without their consent.
Sure. Yeah, because I think obviously we're in this world now, and if we go to your world, we'll go to this place where, you know, I can involuntarily impose on people's will now, but there's going to be this restriction placed on me that's going to take away this freedom that I currently have. And now I'm not going to be able to impose on anyone's will. Just seems like okay, well, that could be just arbitrary. It could be that actually, if we want a more moral world, if we want, you know, a world where better outcomes happen, maybe we have to add another restriction to get to that best of all possible worlds. It seems like it's just a consequence, right? And no one's gonna like have a problem with it because they're not going to be aware otherwise, right? Because this isn't about like, because you're a determinist, right? So it's like, even if people consent to things, even if that's determined, it's not like an issue.
Right, but if you're deliberately determining people to believe a certain thing, that's an issue.
No, it's just a law of nature. It's not like anyone's doing it. Same as the imposition of will law. So no one's actually doing it. It's just fact of reality.
Well, if it was a fact of reality, we would all be unable to have that desire, which means in order to have that be the best of all possible worlds, we have to insert that. We have to make that law and impose it on people.
Yeah. That's just, for me, would, whilst, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't necessarily want this world. I'm just saying, would this actually be a more moral world? Well, it seems like it would be. Even if it's boring, or it's, you know, it's there's less options. Like, we're not, if it's just about options and preferences, then it seems like your model is more tracking preference satisfaction than actually what's moral, the things that we care about when we talk about interactions with other conscious beings, and, you know, things like empathy, things like respect, these kind of things, like are considerations that your model just doesn't account for. And it may be just that it's underdetermined in some way, like Newton's law equations were underdetermined and Einstein's is a more encompassing view. That's kind of how I look at my model.
Well, yeah, because I don't think those things are moral. I think that there is no thought crime. There's no immoral thoughts. You can have whatever thoughts or intentions or feelings towards another person, and no matter what they are, they can never be immoral. So I think it would be intuitively counterproductive to think that morality is based on how people think about one another. I think that would disagree with what most people think of as morality.
I'm sorry, I think I pressed the wrong button. I managed to mute the audio as well as the mic. Lost like the last 5 seconds of what you said there.
Yeah, so I think it goes against people's intuitions to think that thought crime is a moral issue. It's immoral to have certain thoughts or intentions or feelings about other people. That's just not immoral. There's no moral aspect to that. It's just, those are just the preferences. And so you're saying you should eliminate the preferences. And that seems immoral. Like, if someone particularly has a preference, you're going to eliminate that or prevent that, that seems immoral. Whereas a person having a preference or liking or not liking somebody doesn't seem to be a moral issue. I don't think most people would agree that it's immoral to like dislike someone.
Yeah, I think it probably not that simply put, but if someone was just like, I don't know, like insulting someone, not showing respect to someone, not showing empathy, those are the kind of things that I think matter. But do you think like in your best of all possible worlds, you'd reach a point where like your emotions are like bulletproof, like you can't be hurt emotionally? Do you think that would be the case?
Well, I mean, you could deliberately set your emotions up like that, but I'd say probably not. I'd say you'd probably keep a spectrum of emotions that you can feel a broad sense of things. You-
Okay.
so it'd be like a
Cool.
video game.
Yeah,
You'd go into a video game like Star Wars or whatever, and you would play the part of Luke Skywalker, and you'd experience all the emotions he was experiencing because that would be part of the story. So it wouldn't be like you wouldn't deliberately shut yourself off from emotions unless you was really there was like some you really didn't like. He's like, yeah, I'm going to turn those off in my world because I don't like those emotions.
Interesting. Okay. No, thanks. I'll let some other people ask questions, but thanks a lot. Cheers.
Sure. Hello,
I think
atheist.
if you go,
What, Robot, what's up?
yeah, John, what if you go against like your own understanding of what's right and wrong? You think it's detrimental to your mental health? If you go against, like, for example, like, you know how people can't agree on certain things because they're both intellectuals and they both have their own like mindset or their own philosophy. So what if you go against your own philosophy? Is that detrimental to your mental health? Or
I mean,
is there
it's
is there no
possible.
such thing?
It would kind of depend, like in the situation of the world. Like if you have a really deeply ingrained philosophy, say like a religious belief or whatever, and you go against it, it could cause you a lot of psychological damage, cognitive dissonance, fear, those kinds of things, which can definitely emotionally damage people for sure.
Can I add something, Tom?
Sure.
I've often tried to define like life and liberty as sort of together in the fact that liberty is the ability to spend your life the way you wish. And so the maximal freedom aspect of your worldview works for me. But it also seems to answer this question in the fact of what would be wrong with it is you're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to make choices. You're allowed to suffer the consequences of them because that's an example of freedom, of being able to choose and then, deal with the consequences. So trying to restrict somebody's liberties, even though you realize what they're trying to do may harm themselves, who the hell are you to tell anyone else how they can spend their lives? If they want to be self-destructive, they should be allowed to do that. It's just we want to make sure that people who are hurting people around them understand that that's where we cross the line of, well, the freedom that one person is allowed to have. It shouldn't include the capacity to harm another.
Sure.
Well, self-destructive behavior can still harm others. And what Tom said about religion, I think a perfect example of this is the huge number of Christians who struggle with quote unquote same-sex attraction. Really, it's just being LGBT, and like, yeah, it does say in Leviticus, that not to lie with another man. But personally, I don't have any problem with churches that are open to having pastors who are openly gay, because I don't care. Like that, like nothing for people, and even probably leads to self-harm or worse with a lot of these people. I mean, I've seen examples of it on YouTube, like some of these religious communities. I won't get into specifics, but it's and it's really obvious that these people are suffering.
teaching people self-esteem is not anywhere in most theology. If you are being told that your self-worth is dependent on the opinion of a God, then you're definitely not being taught that your opinion of your own self-worth matters. So it's very easy to be religious and have an artificial sense of purpose and have all of the natural lattice work that you would have had of having a healthy psyche stripped away because you were never taught to have self-respect. It's going to lead to a lot of bad mental health.
I mean, I think
There's that movie. There's that movie. Beautiful American Beauty, when with the father was he was actually gay, and he was hiding from his wife. He was gay, and at the end he couldn't help himself, so he kissed Kevin Spacey. You know that film? Okay, so basically he was hiding the entire time that he was gay. He was closed closet. So I guess that's bad for him because I mean, basically, like society, he believed that society did not let him be gay. So he was like hurting himself. I mean, he was married, he had a kid or something, he had a wife, but he was absolutely depressed, right? So he had let, I don't know, it wasn't religion, I guess, in his case, but it was like society. So it's the way he thought himself to be. Like he in his head, he thought that society thought that he would be wrong if he came out to be gay, right? So in that case, it wasn't religion. I mean, in the movie, he decided himself that society would say he was wrong for being gay. Therefore, he was hiding from his wife. He was gay. And he kissed the
well,
guy in the end. What about that? Because it's not, you know what I mean? Like, what if it's your mind that tells you that what you're doing is wrong? Like, in his mind, he thought that he would be wrong in society for being gay. So, therefore, he didn't tell his wife, he didn't tell anyone he was gay. He was like hiding he was gay. And at the end, he kissed Kevin Spacey on the mouth. Right. So
hold
I
on a
don't know.
second,
Listen.
because the movie's called American Beauty. It's set in the
Yeah,
United
yeah,
States, and we have a
yeah, yeah.
huge
American Beauty.
influence of religion on our culture. I
Mhm.
mean, that's why the
Yeah,
nuclear
you're right.
family
You're
is
right.
considered, yeah, the baseline of foundational to society. But you're right, and in that movie, I think that he went through what a lot of people go through. Is I don't even think that he knew he was in the closet, which happens to a lot of people. Um, it's not until he starts smoking pot and uh, he kind of opens his mind. I love the scene in the movie at the drive-through when he catches his wife, though. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so it can apply to any ideology. Religion is just a common example. You have certain beliefs and certain feelings, and your feelings contradict with your beliefs or cause cognitive dissonance, and that can cause emotional or psychological harm. Yes.
I think everybody's guilty of this. I mean, it's pretty much just sounds like being a hypocrite. Sometimes we don't realize we're doing. But I think the structures of religions are archaic and don't need to be, those limitations shouldn't be put on people. So I think it causes a lot of unnecessary mental health problems and anguish. Because you have a society and morals are always updating, but if you have a book that is unchanging and what they call objective morality that can't change, you know, that's gonna they're not. That's why they lag behind so far in supporting stuff like gay marriage. And that's why I think so many atheist organizations talk about free thought because you don't have that restriction. That's why becoming an atheist is feels freeing for a lot of religious peoples because they don't feel the shackles of having to live a certain way.
Hey,
Um,
T Jump. I have a question about your morality, or like a certain action, and how it would be considered in your like moral worldview.
Okay.
So I noticed when like talking to theists, or like looking at debates with theists, between atheists and theists, a topic that will come a whole lot is like the permissibility of. Oh my god.
You're cutting out.
Yo, T-Jump,
Yep.
do you disagree with that Faces like first proof of God?
Ed Fazier, yes, he's just reciting the 5 ways, which are all debunked.
Okay, give me a second.
Uh,
Can you explain to me? Okay, just to lay out the arguments, just change is a real feature of the world, and then change is going to be the actualization of potential. Every potential requires something actual to actualize it. Therefore, concur like an infinite chain of like potential beings that are being actualized cannot exist. Therefore, God exists because he'd be the purely actual actualizer. What would be your contention with that?
There's no such thing as actual and potential. Those are made up properties to describe abstract
Why?
concepts.
Something actual would just be something that exists
No,
in the
that's
real
an
world.
abstract concept, so that doesn't exist. So no physicists use those terms. Those are terms that are made up
Yeah, they
that have
don't.
entailments that don't exist in
They
physics.
don't need to. They're supposed to
No,
reference
they
things that
would.
exist
They would
in
need
this
to.
current
But
world.
that's again, those are made up terms by apologists that don't correspond to reality. If you wanted to say
Just
those-
because
wait,
physicists don't
stop,
reference them does not mean that they're made up.
they are made up because physicists don't reference them. Because physicists are only allowed to reference things that make novel predictions in the field of physics. And actual and potential don't. They are made up concepts by theist apologists that have lots of entailments that don't exist in physics. And so they're just arbitrary. You can just make up a different thing, say there's a pineapple force. And the pineapple force requires an ultimate pineapple to rule the universe. It has just as much grounds as actual and potential. There's no basis for actual and potential being real descriptors of real forces in reality at all.
Actual and
About
potential.
lying is
I could add something.
Okay, anyway, actual and potential, the way you'd be able to determine whether or not these things actually do exist is you can look around you and you can observe something that would be actual, would be, e.g., the voice chat that you're speaking in right now. That would be something that exists actually. Right? Whereas
So
something that
again,
I mean,
abstracts,
philosophy
the
lying
actual
is that
and potential are abstracts that refer to abstract things. If you want to show they exist, you need to make novel predictions about something we don't know yet and get it right based off of your hypothesis. You can't just say, hey, I see stuff and I describe it with these words. Therefore, these words describe forces in reality. Like, nope, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, physicists value things that they can quantify and measure. So if something exists, we should be able to measure its effects or measure its properties, like its weight or its color, or in terms of things we can't see, like radiation, we can see the effects of these things. We don't have anything like that for any deity. And I think if it exists, apologists would be able to simply lay out an argument for his existence that isn't word salad like that, because that made no sense to me, what you said. I think that's indicative of them not having
Yeah.
like that.
You can think it didn't make any sense, but I wasn't speaking to you in the first place. But anyway, right, my explanation of something that would just be actual would be something that exists within the real world, right? Something that isn't logically possible.
I don't care about your definition. I don't care about your
So
definition.
explain to me why I need to make novel testable predictions just to give a label to something that already exists within reality.
Because your label has a lot of entailments that are unique to your ideology that don't exist in physics.
Like
the PSR.
Why does something actual existing entail the PSR?
The fact that something actual or that something potential requires something actual is what requires the PSR, and that's debunked in physics.
Okay, so actual in
randomness
itself.
that happen. Literal randomness is a
Okay,
thing.
explain to me. Yeah, explain to me why true randomness even exists in the first place.
I have no idea why it exists, but that's the consensus in physics.
Okay, they can have the consensus in physics that true randomness actually has to exist, right? They can think that.
No,
However,
that's been
some form of
confirmed by many different empirical tests. So that's a hypothesis that made predictions that got it right. Yours.
No, I don't understand why it would be right in the first place. I think it would just.
I don't care if you understand it or not. It's that hypothesis has made successful novel predictions that were confirmed in a lab.
Why?
Why?
Like
like the
No,
Casimir
can you
effect,
name me what?
the delayed quantum eraser experiment, the Casimir effect, the double slit experiment.
CMB.
All of those don't even entail like any form of true randomness.
They
All those
literally
would
do.
entail
That's why
that
it's the
there's some form
consensus
of
in physics.
current size going on.
So those do entail true randomness. You can check the poll. Fundamental attitudes towards quantum mechanics by Schlosshauser. It literally asks this question: is randomness apparent, fundamental, unchangeable, et cetera, and the answer is it's fundamental. That's literally what these things test. So you can take that up with the physicists.
Yeah,
I
if you
meant
want to
like
know why
false
we have
data. Is
randomness,
false
because we
data a
insert
physical,
physical.
physics thing? Like, what if there were like inaccuracies? Like, for example, like let's say they made a documentary, a 60-minute documentary. Everything in that 60-minute documentary was a lie. Everything was fabricated documents. Everything was forgeries. Like all the documents were forged. They were all, everything was a lie, but it caused this whole world to move. And basically, because the whole world believed the 60-minute documentary, it caused people to move. And so basically, you're saying that it's a lie, but it caused physics. I mean, it caused human beings to move, and because human beings moved, isn't that part of physics? So let's say the entire world population moved because they watched a 60-minute documentary, and everything in that 60-minute documentary, all the words were lies. Every piece of evidence they provided was a lie. Every every document they provided was forged.
Yeah, it's called
Let's say everything was a
propaganda.
lie.
This is a real thing that happens. Most religions
Yeah,
are this.
is it a
So what?
physics thing?
Everything is
So it's
Is it
physical.
spelled like
for
in
example?
science.
So does false data affect? Do they have a term
Everything
in
is
physics?
physical. Everything.
Um, like
Kind of describing religion there.
Yep.
You mean physically moved or like emotionally moved? Like, you mean it caused them to move?
cause them to move. Like for example, like they they rioted, they did things like propaganda. It caused because everything was a lie and everyone believed that it caused the human population to move differently than what was natural. So they became unnatural. Therefore, it caused if you say that physics has to do with the physical and human beings are physically existing, meaning in their physical bodies, and their bodies were moving in a physical place like the earth, and they were like, say, they start to run around, run into stores, go crazy, right? So you're saying false data caused movement. It caused human
Be a
beings to
victim
move
of
differently,
propaganda.
which was unnatural. Yeah, because of
Well, it's
propaganda.
not
So is there a term in
unnatural.
physics, like what you would say is, if you say, "Oh, false data can't make things move because it's false," what would you call that? Like, for example, you had false data. Is there a
False
physical
data is very
physics term?
effective.
What? I'm sorry. What did you say, sir?
I said
It's
false
very
data is
effective.
very
Like,
effective at influencing people.
yes, it is. You're right about that.
Not sure what your argument is though.
I was just saying, like, because he was saying about religion, right? He was saying like that religion didn't affect anything. So even if religion was false, it can still cause people to move unnaturally. You know, if the religion was false, and it caused people to move unnaturally. For example, you had a religion that was not based on nature. Let's say, as human beings, we're all in tune with human nature because we're human beings. And let's say, what if there was a religion that caused you to move unnaturally? That was not like, like the natural thing, the way that you should be on the earth. So basically, it caused you to, you know, well, this is what he was saying.
I tend to consider the
So
term
I
unnatural
was,
to be fallacious.
like, don't, for example, it told you not to be yourself, or let's say religion said, "Do not believe in yourself," or religion said, like, don't believe in yourself, like, let's just say, what if it still caused, some kind of effect globally. So I wasn't arguing with you. I was just saying, like, because his argument was religion. and you said that religion didn't have any effect on physics. I said, but what if, even if religion was a lie, what? Sorry. No, I wasn't arguing with you. I don't really want to argue.
I know. I'm just trying to understand your argument, but TJ, did you say that religion doesn't have any effect on physics?
No.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
I
think he's very
I think
smart, man.
Jews are
Yeah,
part of
you're
ego,
very
so-
smart, man. Yeah.
Wait, no, wait. I think you're missing a problem. You would have to say that religion doesn't affect your physics. You'd have to be on the notion that any religion doesn't exist, like God doesn't exist. So he's atheist, so they're assuming that that's the case. But to someone that's religious, they'll think otherwise. So you can't really argue that with them, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Religions exist. That doesn't mean gods exist. Their claims exist. They make claims.
Regardless of the claims. Okay, so this person just made the claim that religion doesn't affect physics. They're atheists, so they don't believe in any religions. So how could you argue that? If it doesn't exist, how could you argue it?
We argue that their claims are not correct. We still believe that the religions exist because see that religions are just
Literally, dude, stop. Look up the definition of the term exists. It says to have objective being or objective reality. So there's two ways that we use that single word, and you're just equating between the two.
But what do you say? I can hear you, sir. Someone's speaking to me.
Listen to the playback.
The playback? Is it playback?
So if
Okay,
everything
anyways.
was a lie, right? Sorry about that. Yeah. So if everything was based on objective reality, what if there was a correct answer for everything? Basically, everything fit into one objective reality, or one logic fit into one objective reality. So everything made up that one logic. A lot of things, everything correct made up that one logic. And all I was saying is, what if, right? There was a objective reality. In that objective reality, there was everything that made up that one logic, and there was everything that was correct. There was only one correct way, just like you have a multiple choice test. You have one correct answer: A, B, C, D, and every answer was B, right? There was only one correct answer for every question, and every correct answer made up that one logic, and that one logic led to one objective reality. Is there any way to turn this everything wrong in this world, like by people's mentality? Like for example, physics. You said it affects falsehood affects human beings. They cause them to move unnaturally. Let's just say, what if? So what if you or anyone here was able to convince everyone to do things correctly? Would our world then suddenly or become later on the correct world, or would there be one reality? Could there be one objective reality where everything was done correctly, or is it because there is no right and wrong, and therefore there is no such thing as objective? No, there is no correct answer. There's no objectivity. Meaning to say, if you say the objective, the correct answer is B, I could say, well, no, the correct answer is A. It's not B, it's C. Oh, I don't like your answer. It's D. You know what I mean? So I mean, at the start, you guys said
You are front loading this an awful lot.
Yeah.
So the answer is no. There is no way to make all of the
No.
true things in this reality the opposite. You can't do it because you can't have a reality where someone believes they exist but doesn't exist at the same time. It's not possible. So in any reality,
Hello
if
guys,
you
salam
believe you
alaikum.
exist, they must exist. Therefore, you can't get that wrong in another universe.
Our reality is objective because we have no choice but to live in the reality we observe. However, physics doesn't currently know whether or not the multiple worlds theory is true or not. It could be. There could be multiple universes. We don't really know. But we, I think it's wrong to say that there's a correct answer and for everything, because there are interpretations of things. There are objective facts about our universe, but we have an incredibly limited perspective on our own reality because we can only see a tiny part of the
Under
visible
determination.
spectrum of light. There's so many parts of radiation that we can't observe or see, and among other things. So
But what our perception has to do with objective reality, though?
that we can't make objective claims about our reality that are, you know, we know for a fact that they're because we have a limited understanding. We're learning more, but
You can understand the
things like that.
existential component of something. It exists, but you may not know why or where or anything about it. But you still have to accept the fact that something exists.
Yeah. We quantify things that exist. We can measure them. We've axiomatic assumptions that we can trust our senses, because without that, you know, you can't really know anything. So we assume that to be true, and then we work from there. Do science.
I mean, I think there's a problem that, well, I'm guessing you obviously you're atheist, so you go to science, right? For things like dark matter, I know we know some stuff about dark matter. The majority of things we know is purely theoretical, right? Even with like studies with the pillar and such.
No, we see what
You
it does.
can't, you can't, yeah, you see what it does, but you can't observe it because it's
that's not
it's an interactive light. No,
That's
it's
not
theoretical. You don't know anything
theoretical
about
by
it.
definition. If you're looking at something that something is doing, it's not theoretical.
Dark matter.
Okay, I'll bring up a
isn't
more,
a
I'll bring
thing.
up a more concrete. I'll bring up a more concrete example. Then, what about dark energy? You know hardly anything about it.
Dark matter
can
and dark
see that
energy
too.
aren't things. So dark matter and dark energy are a label for a specific phenomenon. Dark matter is the fact that there's more gravitational force in galaxies than what is explained by visible matter. It's not an actual thing. It's we don't know what this is. Dark energy
Okay,
is the
sorry
fact
for
that
putting it that way.
the energy density of space is very high. That's all it means. So they're not things. They're not like a
Yeah,
hypothesis.
no,
It's just
I said it. I must have said that wrong. I said the thing. So, what's like concepts, right? Am I putting it better that way?
sort of, yeah. They're just unknowns. There's an
Okay.
unknown phenomenon.
But you
Which is
agree
not
that
a concept.
a lot. But you agree that a lot of it is theoretical, right?
Well,
It's
no.
not a concept.
Neither
It's
of
an
them
observed
are.
something.
They're just a description of things we see. Dark matter is a thing we see. We see the fact that there is more gravitational spin in galaxies than what is accounted for. It's just a literal thing we see. We don't know what's causing it, but we literally see the dark matter phenomenon. We literally see the dark energy phenomenon. We just don't know what's causing it. So it's not that those things are.
Gravitational lensing, so we can see the effects of it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. All right. I agree with you for dark matter, but I know nothing about dark energy, so I can't really speak on that. With dark matter, yeah, I agree on that.
Dark energy was just an explanation for why the expansion of the universe is increasing, like the speed of it.
Okay.
And it's also
I
one of
think-
the reasons why any evidence for a deity would have to be some sort of phenomenological experience.
Wait, so do you believe? Okay, I'll ask you like these are philosophical, right? Do you believe in objective morality?
Yes.
Wait, so, okay. Who wants to speak first? Because you both just gave like a different answer.
You can go for it.
Well, I'll just say that, like I said earlier, society, our morals are always changing. We know that because we no longer sacrifice animals like they did in biblical times. A lot of people in 100 years will probably think that it's immoral that so many of us eat
Hey,
meat.
T-Jump, man, debate me, man. Come on, man. Stop running, man.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So speaking to that, so we both agree that our morality changes over time, right? So when I was young, I may think something, and now at this age, I may think something else, right? But the common consensus is that our morality is either getting better or getting worse, right? Our moral compass is usually getting better or worse. Would you say that? Would you say that?
I would say that it's getting better because the murder rate has gone down. Science has increased our
I didn't mean in
lifespan,
general.
our quality of life.
Sorry, I didn't mean in general. I meant like your morality is either getting, if it's changing, it's either getting better or worse, right? That's what I meant. I didn't mean in general. Sorry.
Are you talking about on an individual level or society?
Yeah, no, on an individual level. If your morality is changing, if your morality is changing, it's either getting better or worse. For example, let's say I'm a murderer, right? And I used to believe that murder is okay. Now that I think murder is bad, my morality's gotten better, objectively, right? So if we think if something gets better and better, eventually it's going to reach the peak morality. It's going to reach the morality where everything is fine. No, well, actually, I put it in the wrong way. Where everything is okay, everyone's well-being is intact, and rationally, it seems pretty well. Seemed pretty good, right? So that would be the objective morality. We're trying to reach a morality. Well,
Except
arguing
you've got a
morality,
problem because murder is by definition wrong. So you're just repeating
yes,
it.
by definition, it's wrong, right? But killing is, and it's not
Killing can
classified
be
as
justified. That's the
no,
problem.
it can
You have
be just, but also it can
culpable homicide and non-culpable homicide. So there can be
yes, but
valid reasons to kill. So bring your objective morality into the argument now when you can be aware that there are valid reasons to kill.
Good point.
yes, I am aware there's valid reasons to kill, of course. But you can also argue the non-valid reasons to kill. For example, just killing for enjoyment. Someone could argue that isn't okay, right? That isn't morally just. So obviously, for example, sure. But okay, I'll give you a different example. Let's say stealing. Let's say I steal for the pleasure of it. I don't steal it because I need it. That would be objectively wrong. And if my morality changes to the point where I say I don't think stealing is good anymore, my morality in a sense
You
is
had
getting
it
better.
right the first time. I don't know why you're repeating yourself. The only
Because
thing that would,
I mean,
the only
to
thing that would
dispute
be
my
required
example.
between you and I is for us to have the very first thing you said and agree on it, that there are valid reasons to kill and there are non-valid reasons to kill. And you and I then both agree that there are non-valid reasons to kill and we have something objective, because it's now no longer dependent on either one of us. We committed ourselves to entire societies dedicated on the idea that there are invalid reasons to kill. And that is where you get peace from. And it's only when people think they have an invalid reason to kill when they're wrong that you start to have violence in that system. And one of the best ways in history to kill somebody is to think that your God told you to, or the state that is commanded by your deity. It thinks that this is what is best. And so we're trying to eliminate that violence from the world. That's why your moral system won't work.
I have a question to
I mean,
Jump.
Sure,
Go on.
go ahead.
You said you believe objective morals, right, Tijam?
Yep.
And I watched a couple of your videos about that, and to me it seems like the way you define the objective morals, it's fits more into ethics, like definition of ethics. Like,
So
you get what I'm saying?
in philosophy, ethics and morality are synonyms. So in academic philosophy, those two words mean the same thing. You can actually check it on the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy.
Yeah. No, I know that, but I mean, where you are like explaining your objective morals, it fits into ethics category more than morality.
So
Because I think all morals are subjective. That's why, like,
well, so in philosophy, ethics and morals mean the same exact thing. They both refer to all the categories of what we should do, both society, emotionally, objective morality. They all mean the same thing. So ethics and morality in philosophy mean the exact same thing.
okay.
Yeah. Did you say you think objective morality is true?
Yes, I'm a moral realist. Fun fact, most academic philosophers are atheists, and they also believe in objective morality.
Okay. What's your response to
Sir.
the thing we were talking about killing? You can't say that it's always wrong to kill someone.
Well, I think
It's
you can
always
actually say
morally
it's
wrong.
always wrong, but in the case of most models of
Morally wrong.
morality, you'd say that there are certain kinds of actions that you can do a bad thing to promote a good action, in which case it makes it good. So like killing one person to save five could be a good thing, like utilitarianism. And so killing is only wrong if it causes more harm than it saves, or something along those lines. So depending on the model of morality that you use, you can define killing as both contingently wrong based on the outcomes, or necessarily wrong based on deontology, or like saying some rule or something makes it wrong. So there's models that use both. Mine says it's always wrong. Mine says that anytime you kill anyone for any reason, it's always going to be wrong, even if it has a good consequence, like killing baby Hitler or something. Even if you save millions of lives, you've still done one immoral thing. So you've done like a million moral things, saved a million moral lives, but you also killed a baby, which was immoral, and so you've still done one immoral thing. And so in my view, it's always wrong to kill anyone ever for any reason.
What about in a situation of euthanasia where the person wants to die and they're suffering?
Oh, that's a good point. So because my model is based on consent, if someone wants to die, then it's actually moral to help them.
Okay, I agree with that. What about in the situation of somebody has a hostage at gunpoint and the SWAT team has to shoot that guy? But they
Yep, that would be immoral. So you're killing one person to save 5 or whatever. That would be an immoral action they did to promote 5 moral actions, to save the 5 people.
Does that spawn from you thinking that human life has inherent value?
You jump to beat me, man.
It's consciousness. Consciousness has inherent value. So it's not humans. Like I would say the same thing would apply even if it wasn't a human. Like if it was an alien, the same thing would apply because it has consciousness, and that's what has inherent value, not necessarily the humanity.
So if you see a spider, do you set it free instead of killing it?
That would be the moral thing to do. I do not, because I'm not
I do.
moral.
Okay,
I think everything has a I mean, there's like a maximum yield though for like everything, like in chemistry. Like let's say you were going to make crystal, and you turn this chemical into crystal. There's a maximum yield. So I think with for example, like I think a tree can grow to its maximum height. And
Hey, T-Jump, man, the baby, man. Stop running from me, man.
Like
pay me.
Water,
Bro,
for
what
example,
the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
You know. So maybe if there was like is there some kind of what do you call that? Is it metaphysics? Is it chemistry? If you know, how do you study something like this to understand the chemistry of, like, for example, let's say if morality was something like water, and water can only get so pure, and metals can only get so pure. Like this is pure mercury, this is pure H2O, this is pure oxygen, and anything else would be corrupted. So then, is there? I mean, if there's a maximum yield for everything, you're working towards an objective reality, which everyone was going to do things correctly, and there's only as good as it gets, right? And there's only as good as it gets for some certain peoples, and as good as it gets for a certain kind of human being, certain kind of, and just like water, there's no other. I mean, it's as good as it gets. H2O is as pure as you can get, or oxygen. Is there a study in university you can determine, is it metaphysics? How do you know if a human being has reached their potential? For example, like in being, if metaphysics had something to do with the essence of being, we were supposed to be or become the best version of ourselves, and that was objective. That it was the best possible version for itself.
We just say we can't.
So is there a study in a university that allows, you know, like, so that we know the chemistry? Is it like ethics, physics? Is it,
Yeah, it's called novel testable prediction. So you can make predictions and say if you have a hypothesis of any of those, you make a prediction, and if the prediction is confirmed in a lab, that would be evidence that it's whatever you think it is, either the best humans can do or not the best humans can do. Either way.
I'd love to talk more with you about this T-jump, but so you think that do you have a definition for objective morality in the way you define it?
Yeah, so like there's two things, one it's made of and what the principles that describe it are. So I think what it's made of is just an undiscovered law of physics. So I think it's just a part of physics. But what I think the principle that describes it is any involuntary imposition of will is immoral, or anytime you force someone to do something they don't consent to do is immoral. And the basis for that is that a morally perfect world would be a world where it would be impossible to force anyone to do anything they don't consent to doing, either by agents or by nature. And I think that would be a morally perfect world.
You think it's immoral that you were forced to be born and exist?
Well, being born, I didn't have a consciousness yet, so I didn't consent or not consent to being born. That's not an immoral action. That would be amoral. What would happen after I was born would be immoral. So like having to age would be immoral. Getting fat, immoral. those kinds of things. But
It's kind of hard to impose the will of a will that doesn't exist.
That's exactly correct. So, like,
You force somebody to become fat.
say that again.
Oh, well, I said you could force somebody to become fat, and that would be immoral. If it was
yes,
against will,
yes.
that would.
Well, I was going for a more general route. I think it's immoral for nature to make me fat. I want to be able to eat all the chocolate ice cream I want and never get fat. And the fact that I can't, I think, is immoral.
So I guess I was saying that I think morality. I say that it's not objective just because it's changing. Talking about society, it sounds like you. How would you respond to that? I think we have slightly different definitions.
Well, I agree for the most part because moral progress is a thing. So moral intuitions across societies do change. But that doesn't mean objective morality changes. That just means our experience of morality changes. So, for example, the way humans see light changes. Some women have 4 cones instead of 3 cones. It changes, but objectively, light doesn't change. Our experience of it changes. So, morality could be the same, where there's a field of morality, it's unchanging, it's just a figment of the fundamental nature of reality or whatever. But the way we experience it can change. So the way that we interact with it, the way we are affected by it, could change based off of our intellectual development, our amount of resources. So even though moral intuitions can change, that doesn't necessarily mean that objective morality must be, or there can't be objective morality.
Do you argue that objective morality and subjective are not mutually exclusive?
Well, it depends on, because if you're talking about ontologically, they're mutually exclusive. So you think, is fundamentally morality just a product of evolution? Then that would be subjective morality, which would be mutually exclusive to an objective morality, because subjective means stance dependent, objective means stance independent. So they would be mutually exclusive ontologically. But you can have both exist at the same time. There could be an objective morality, like the law of physics, while also having cultural moralities of this culture thinks this is right, this culture thinks this is right. And that would not be mutually exclusive.
Yo, T-Jump, let's debate, man.
Pay me $50 and I'll debate you.
Yo, how many accounts this guy have?
Hey,
What the
T-Jump,
fuck?
I'm a philosopher, man. And I just want to debate.
Okay.
Yo, what the fuck?
Yes, there are quite
That's
a few.
crazy.
Yo, T-Jump, let's debate, man. T-Jump.
T-Jump, debate me.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
That's just went up.
So,
No, well, crazy obsession, what the fuck?
yes. So, Atheist Junior, do you have any other comments to that?
So, objective reality says that the correct combination moves us forward, right? So you're saying basically, if we don't have the correct combination to the safe is not open. So you're saying is, based on your idea of objective reality, is if we get the correct combination, the correct logic, then we move forward and we progress. If we don't, then we stay stagnant. We don't move, right? Or does that
No.
mean that if we have the wrong information, does that
You
turn
can
into
have
something?
the wrong information and still progress. That's perfectly fine. Progress is just having the right information in one respect, or having one thing that corresponds to reality. You can make wrong guesses and still progress. Like Newton was wrong about gravity. His model of gravity was incorrect, but it was closer than the previous one. So you don't have to be right to make progress. You just have to be right-er.
Tijab, as I understand your like evidence for your objective morals is like one of the evidences you said evolution or intuition, right? The moral intuition is one of the evidence which you have to demonstrate objective morals, right?
Sure.
And then like that's it. That's the only thing you have as evidence, or what else?
Moral intuition and moral progress are the two that are used in the field of ethics.
But those things can also indicate subjective morals as well, right?
So that's called underdetermination. It's always the case that all evidence can be used to indicate multiple different hypotheses. It's necessarily the case. So it isn't actually a problem that the evidence can be used to indicate multiple things. That doesn't really make a difference.
I mean, the only evidences that you have can also indicate other things.
Well, again, so that's
I don't know.
all evidence
Yeah.
for everything. It's called the problem of underdetermination. All evidence for everything can be used to indicate multiple different things. So, like, for example, take all of science. All of science could be indicative of, the natural physical world or whatever, or it could be indicative of that we're in the matrix and somebody programmed it to look like this way or something. So it's not the case that the evidence only indicates one option. There's always many options that the evidence can indicate. It's literally a thing in physics called the problem of underdetermination, or in science. So it's
Sure.
never the case that evidence is mutually exclusive to all options but one.
That's fine, but don't you think it will be more probable to subjective morals to be right over objective morals?
Sure, based on the current evidence, you could say that evolution is the best explanation we currently have, and that's the one that has the most evidence. Perfectly fine.
Would you
Okay.
respond to creationists who say that we're just looking at the same evidence, coming to different conclusions?
It's possible to do that. Like you could say that looking at all the evidence we have, you could think that the hypothesis is that a magic leprechaun created the world 5 minutes ago, and it just deceived us into thinking that it looks like it's the world's 13.8 billion years ago. That's possible.
T-Jump, $50 this debate, man.
Do it. PayPal me. PayPal.me.
Yo, I ain't forgot about you, man. I'm a philosopher, man.
It's 100 now.
It's still 50. I take money. I'm happy to debate for $50. Just
Yeah.
pay me. But what was the question again? Something about multiple. Yeah. So creationism. So the creationists can say that. It would not be the most rational interpretation because, like evolution, DNA, they get things wrong. But it is possible to look at all of the exact evidence and say we were just all created 5 minutes ago. That is a possible explanation. And if you want to take that hypothesis, it doesn't make much sense, but you can do that.
You take coupons.
I feel like they just want to co-opt the evidence that science discovers. They wanted to say, no, that's not evidence for evolution. That's actually evidence for my decider. I find that argument really annoying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They're trying to take the stuff that they think is important, like evidence, and say that their God explains it all because that's how their worldview works. It's post hoc rationalization.
I absolutely love that one of the classic definitions of the creative methods for
Claim
God
proof,
was
that claim proof.
creatio ex nihilo, creation from nothing. And nowadays, it's one of the most popular pieces of, I don't know, slander, I suppose they try to toss at us, is that we believe the universe was created from nothing. And it's like, you do realize creation ex nihilo was a religious idea that has been rejected. And it's just fantastic. Projection is amazing.
Yeah, they're always projecting.
So, TJ, you're basically saying, or do you think that the morals are some kind of Platonic object?
No, I
Is
think
that
it's
what you
an
think?
undiscovered law of physics. So I think it's an actual physical thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Thanks for answering my questions, T-Jump. I'm going to jump out.
All right.
Appreciate it, though.
Yep, for sure. See you later.
T-Jump, that wouldn't qualify as a Platonic form, would it?
What?
The idea of an actual perfect something out there being.
Could, but my
How
model
much
is
are you
not.
debate for? How much are you debate for?
$50. PayPal me. PayPal.me.
Do you take coupons?
Nope. I will wait for my PayPalage. I take. That's not bad. I take. He takes. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
I know this things like utilitarianism, like Kantian deontology, but do you think that religion has proved to be one of the most important factors in developing our morality?
Not exactly. So I think that religions were founded based on the morality of the cultures at the time. So the morality already existed in human nature. And then religions adopted the most prevalent or useful of those moral principles that already existed in human nature, and then applied a what is it, narrative to those things, and that narrative was then changed over time. So religion was not the origin of morality, it was the follow-up for morality.
But so do you think we derived morality from like empathy? Like let's say we saw like an animal dying, right? Would have empathy for that. Do you think we derived our morality from things that happened around us?
I mean,
Empathy
that
is
would be
literally part of our biology.
that would be more like the evolutionary view.
Yes, but do you think empathy definitely allowed us to develop morality, right?
Well, so that would be the evolutionary view. I think that morality is something more fundamental.
So you believe morality is somewhat tangible?
Yes, I think it's a law of physics.
Okay. So do you have any theories on what it could be?
Law of physics.
I mean, like specifically.
So yeah, the principles that describe what morality would be any involuntary imposition of will is immoral. So forcing people to do things they don't consent to doing would be immoral.
Okay. Okay. Actually, yeah, I have another question that we need to ask people. Do you think that free will actually exists?
No, I don't think free will is a coherent concept, as long as you're talking about like libertarian free will.
I just mean in the sense that, let's say I wanted to do something, my want to do something will be impacted by external forces. Like maybe is this thing does it
Like
make up, let's say,
gravity?
a job, right? Yeah, like gravity. We don't have free will because obviously our gravity impacts our decision making.
You may have the ability to make choices, but every choice you're making is been curated by reality.
True, but because we have the knowledge of what happens in reality, we
We
change
don't have
our
that
choices.
kind of knowledge, but we're not in control of reality. It's in control of us.
Yeah, but like, let's say someone had the rational like desire to fly to the moon by themselves. They know they can't do that. They have the desire to, but they wouldn't try and do that because they know they can't do that. So would our free will be impaired by that, or is that just like an irrational thought that doesn't really coincide with free will?
I mean, no, free will is the desire. You can have the desire to fly to the moon. So free will is the ability to have the desires. But the problem about free will is your ability to have desires that are uncaused. Like, how can you desire something without that desire being caused by prior things in physical reality? And that part's impossible.
Okay. Well, could you elaborate on that?
Sure. So there's two definitions of free will. One is libertarian free will, and one is compatibilist free will. Libertarian free will is defined as causa sui. It means it just happens. There's no cause to your desire. It's just some fundamental aspect of your soul thingy that can do desire stuff. Doesn't make any sense, but that's what it is. Compatibilist free will is the view that determinism is compatible with free will, and so you can have a completely determined brain by physical states, but as long as it's acting unimpaired, it's still free will technically. And so that part is the part that philosophers accept. Free will is the compatible sense. They do not accept free will in the libertarian sense. The idea that you have some magic consciousness power that can just do choices does not make any sense. That part makes zero sense whatsoever, and that's the part that most theists believe in when they talk about free will.
I mostly subscribe to determinism, where I was like, free will is more of an illusion. Because it's like I said, it's influenced by external forces. So we may think we can do things, but we have the knowledge that we can't do certain things. So we wouldn't have the desire to.
That would have nothing to do with free will. That would be just being rational. Like, I can't do it, but you still desire things you can't do. Like, I desire to have $1 billion in my bank account. I desire to buy a Lamborghini. Like, you can have desires for lots of things. Whether or not you're able to do it is just not really important.
I can give you a method with coupons to get infinite money.
That is superb.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you for answering that.
Yep.
And I appreciate Walker as well. Thank you.
TJ, what's your PayPal? Let's debate.
PayPal.me/TomJump, capital T, capital J. Pay me. It'll give me a notification.
All right. Does PayPal accept coupons?
Jump, I ain't gonna lie, it's open my PayPal, and I got no money, bro.
That sucks.
Let's do
Hey
the bit,
Tom,
bro.
I got a question.
Sure.
It's not really religious related. It's more like maybe paradox or something. I don't know. Is it possible to trust a person to the point to where you trust them to lie to you because you know it's for your benefit? You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what wives do when they ask, "Do I look fat in these jeans?" Absolutely.
Well, sort of. But if the wife finds out that you're lying, they're going to get mad at you. I know this from personal experience. It's there's an old saying. It's like the soldier's paradox, or I don't know what it's called, but it's like I trust my commander enough to know that he will lie to me when it's for my own good. Most people won't accept that, but I was wondering if there's like an actual term used for that.
White lies. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if there was some like other philosophical term for it, but
Jump, I got a question for you.
Oops.
Yo, Jump, do you take coupons?
Bro, why is this guy
yes,
like?
he takes coupons with pictures of dead presidents on them.
Holy shit. Jump. Was it? Is there something that you changed your mind, like in your philosophical views, like recently?
Something that has changed my mind and philosophical views. I think the most recent thing would be randomness. Like, I don't like the idea of randomness being fundamental. I think it's stupid. But the research done in like what's it? Something quantum eraser, delayed split quantum eraser experiment show that randomness is most likely fundamental. And that is a change I've had recently. But that's more physics, I guess, not really philosophy. Philosophy, maybe fallibilism was probably the latest change, where I was debating Randall Rouser. Randall Rouser was bringing up the argument of fallibilism, that you can have knowledge without absolute certainty. And that I was not aware of. And so I changed my position regarding that.
Okay.
Although,
How long
Tom,
ago was that?
knowing things
That was a
about the
while ago.
universe and the fact that it can be random does affect certain philosophical arguments, specifically the first cause stuff. If you know that the innate nature of the universe is one of motion, you're not looking for a prime mover anymore.
I mean, the quantum. I don't think quantum randomness, like negate determinism. Like even, like even if it's like fundamentally true that quantum randomness is a thing, like I don't get how can it negate the determinism per se.
It's just the more likely explanation of the hypothesis given the predictions made. So if you check out the poll, Fundamental Snapshot of Attitudes in Quantum Mechanics by Schlosshauser, they asked that exact question, whether randomness is just apparent, hidden variables, fundamental, irreducible. Fundamental irreducible gets like 90% or something massive. It's not even close.
Okay. Do you have links for that? Can you?
I would have to Google it, and right now I'm doing a live stream, so I can't Google it.
Okay.
But if you just Google foundational snapshots of quantum mechanics, Schlosshauser, it should be the first thing that came up.
Okay.
Googling it yourself is usually a really good idea, and the person who knows what they're talking about can give you enough keywords to get you to the right article.
Sure. Anybody else got any questions?
Yo, T-Jump, you wanna play the squads ranked cup?
No.
Aw.
Sorry, can you repeat the name, the author?
Schlosshauser. It's very long. It's German. It's like Slashauer something.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, T-Jump, who's the smartest man alive?
Probably. Yep. True facts.
T-Jump, do you play Fortnite or like any games?
I used to be a video game tester for Activision, but right now I've been working on job money stuff.
What kind of job?
I do chess coaching. I do Jimmy John's bike delivery, YouTube, poop donation, greatest job ever.
Oh shit, how much PR are you on in chess?
2000.
2000? High key, 1v1?
I'm in the park chess right now, playing against like 8 different people.
Shit. Nah, I wouldn't 1v1 you like on your full potential type shit, you feel?
What?
I like not like suppressed and shit. I need to get a defeat, you know? That'd be a horrible argument, you know? Like you're suppressed and shit.
Suppressed?
Painted by... Yeah, man, because your mind's split up. It's looking up augers.
You're not
Teach
farming
up.
potatoes anymore, Tom?
Always.
Yo, T-Jump, do you want to play the squats rank up in Fortnite with me?
No. Pay me $50.
Wait, $50 and you'll actually run the squad comp.
Sure. I don't even know what that is.
It's a fucking tournament in Fortnite.
We need you, T-Jump.
Mercury lurking in here.
Yo, Mercury, let's debate, dude.
Yo, Mercury.
Yo, what's going on, Beats? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? Yeah, bro, I've been a fucking while.
Hey, T-Jump, who's the strongest man alive?
It's your mom.
I'm the strongest.
Yo, relax, T-Jump, bro. Don't go too far.
Yo, is that T-Jump Thomas Jump himself? Oh, shoot.
Yo, high key, bro. Fucking insane.
T.
Yo, T-Jump, you remember when you debated Rikuda?
Who?
Rikuda.
Nope.
Oh, wow. Yo, T-Jump, I like your hair, bro. Your hair is...
Hey, T-Jump, what makes a proposition not true?
It doesn't correspond to reality. Good job.
No, wait. But what happens if someone doesn't affirm that theory of truth?
And they're stupid. I win.
Yo, Loki, that might be a valid.
Hey, but what proves that theory of truth to be true? Like, what makes the truth true?
Your mom.
Okay.
Got him.
Oh, fuck. Wait, matter. I got mending. Let's fucking go.
Yo, T-Jump, let's debate, bro. I don't got no money, but let's debate.
I require payment to debate.
How much subs do not require payment?
Destiny levels.
Destiny levels. Bro, you'd have to pay to debate Destiny, buddy.
I don't know. I've debated Destiny like 4 or 5 times. I've been on his Discord. I've actually went to dinner with him.
T-Jump, it sounds to me you're scared of my rhetoric, bro. I think you're scared of me.
Yes, super scared. Yeah, I have 4 or 5 debates with Destiny on my show, on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, but I'd assume he got a cut from it.
No. Oh, at least I didn't pay him.
Didn't you guys debate Dillahunty together? Or the same event or
same
something
event.
like that?
Yeah, it was the same event, the modern day debate
Oh, okay.
event. And then we were also on the like those panels, those panels on Twitch panels or whatever. I forget those were.
Mm-hmm. I remember you asking him about how to debate these bread tubers because you're like
Yeah,
they're really
that one
stupid
was-
and they don't
that was
listen to arguments. He's like, oh yeah, that's just kind of how they are. Good luck.
Mr. T-Jump, play Fortnite Rank Cup. Gonna play Fortnite Rank Cup. Hello?
Anyway, T-Jump.
Hello? You don't want to play Fortnite Rank Cup? You don't like Fortnite?
Yo, you guys are so funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
Bro,
because T-Jump's laughing on his stream, bro.
No, this shit is just sad. How is it funny? Like, it's really sad to me.
Yo, bro, I don't really care if it's sad to you. It's funny to other people. Shit's subjective, okay? Like, type shit, bro. I don't know.
No, humor actually has an objective measurement to it.
And then what's that set objective measurements?
Not what they're doing.
T-Jump, I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you.
Totally not circular.
Let's debate, T-Jump. I have enough of this.
You gotta
Let's debate, bro.
get a job.
I giggled once or twice, but at this point, like, he keeps saying the same stuff.
T-Jump, the Earth's flat. Let's debate.
Snapshot
The Earth is flat. Let's
of
debate.
foundational attitudes for quantum.
T-Jump, the Earth is flat. Debate me.
$50.
No, the Earth is flat. T-Jump, debate me.
$50
now.
Wait, chill, Arjun, real quick.
Wait, who was it? Who was looking for the link?
T-Jump, I got a question to you.
What's that?
What's
that?
I was looking for.
Outed? Message.
Yeah.
Yo, T-Jump, prove you exist.
Okay, wait.
There you go.
Chill for a second.
Thank you.
Yo, T-Jump. Do you make money from debating?
Yes, I was paid to be here.
So,
How much did you get paid?
Like $50.
That's probably private.
Oh, that's not bad.
Dang, yo paid $50.
Yep.
Okay, they
It's
desperately
not
need
bad
it.
just to be in a server.
And what's like the basis for the payment? Is it the popularity on YouTube? So like what 30K subscribers, or is it based off of actual like philosophical knowledge?
It's based off my preference to do things for money.
What? No, I get that, but I'm asking what they are paying for in particular, rather than what you want.
Popularity.
Probably, yeah.
Popularity.
Probably.
T-Jump, the Earth is flat.
Yo, I think he's onto something. I can't lie, bro. Low-key cooking.
Ooh. Open game. Let's go. Somebody's opening on the chess thingy.
Hey, T-Jump, do you think dragons are real?
T-Jump, please answer, man. Please answer, T-Jump. T-Jump, stop disconnecting me, bro.
Was it worth the $50, T-Jump?
Hey, I like money, so I will tolerate annoyingness for money. He's not as bad as the lights and colors prove Jesus guy.
I see.
Next question, bro. Do dragons exist?
T-Jump, are you a modal realist?
Like modal ontic realist? No.
What ideology do you subscribe
Can I ask you a philosophical question, bro?
I'm a naturalist.
Can I ask you a philosophical question? T-Jump. Can I ask you a philosophical question?
I think he's the. Oh, it's fucking. Oh, I mean, you find it funny, right? Because you're laughing on stream.
Yo, T-Jump, who do you think the most popular person that you debated is?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
He could chuck about a quarter of a quart if you give him a quarter for every quart he cut.
Yo, that
was good. That was good.
That's kind of valid. Yeah. Can I have the inference rule for that though?
T-Jump, your knowledge doesn't scare me.
T-Jump, do you think it's necessary to have
rule. I'm just not realizing, bro. Set the inference rule.
Yes, man. T-Jump, do you think you'd beat infinity?
T-Jump, stop jumping, T-Jump.
D-Jump, do you think you'd beat Infinity in a debate?
Who? Oh, is that like an actual person?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh shit, he's like the best debater, bro. Can't lie.
I doubt it.
Nah, high key though. He beat like fucking, Jester. Yeah, he's like 7-0 with him.
I don't know who that is either.
Nah, bro, you're not part of.
Beast, look at your DMs real quick. I'm
You're not.
gonna
You're...
send you something.
Wait, hold up. Yeah, let me see. If it's the Rico direct, I've seen it.
T-Jump, I'm the best debater in this server. Debate me.
Do you want help moderating?
Yes, that would be awesome. I wonder if I can make you a mod. I don't even know if I can.
Yeah, you can speak to the server owner and he can give mod to anyone you would like.
T-Jump, what's your main topic?
Hey T-Jump, who's your favorite philosopher, T-Jump?
Myself, clearly.
T-Jump, you're the
Yourself?
smartest man alive.
Like, other than yourself though, like, is there any philosopher that you like hold to a high level, or?
Not really. I don't admire anybody really. I think there are ideas that I admire or like a lot. The distinctions that the philosophers make are really good, but I don't really care about the philosophers themselves. So like a priori, a posteriori, synthetic, analytic, scientific image versus manifest image. Those kinds of distinctions are very interesting. Empiricism versus
That makes
rationalism.
sense.
What do you think about woodchucks?
Yo, T-Jump, you're tier 4 at best, bro. We'll be honest.
Oh, just to be clear, T-Jump, what mic do you use? The mic is really crisp.
Sure, SMB7, SM7B, whatever.
Is it good for packing?
For what?
For packing.
I don't know what that means.
Never mind then. It's like rapping, singing type shit.
Oh, rapping. Oh, I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah, T-Jump, have you debated Matt Slick?
Yes, multiple times.
Wow. Who's the hardest opponent you faced? in
Probably
debate?
Professor Rob Coons.
Damn, yeah. Wow, you spoke to him?
Uh,
That's pretty cool.
I had 2 conversations with him.
Why were they hard?
Because he's very smart, and he was able to articulate his ideas in a very intellectually sound way that I didn't know how to counter in the first debate, so I didn't do very well. And then the second debate, I did very well.
Wait, so do you think he's better than Destiny or?
Yes. Destiny has an expertise in like politics and social norms, but not really in philosophy.
Is there really an effective way to make people stop using jargon in a debate?
No.
Wait, Loki, I disagree with that. Destiny, like against Cosmic Skeptic or whatever, he put up quite a performance. I think that was more.
If Cosmic Skeptic is your bar for philosophy, like that's a low bar.
Well, Cosmic Skeptic isn't a good philosopher, but you have to admit he's created a nice platform where you can watch those interesting.
Yes, so
like,
did
dialogue.
PewDiePie. That doesn't mean PewDiePie knows anything.
I mean, I don't think.
Well, look. I mean, he definitely has above surface level knowledge, right? Like he did his degree at Oxford in theology and what. I would imagine he's like pretty like acquainted with these ideas.
He has philosophy degree too, I think.
Well, I'm not sure if he did his philosophy degree, but he definitely got his theology degree at Oxford, bro. So he's not stupid by any means. Like,
theology
degree has
Religion is a
nothing to
subset
do.
of philosophy. It's not really relevant.
I mean, for the topics that he discussed, I mean, you're not going to be good at every single branch of philosophy, are you? You're going to be obviously good at certain sub branches. And I want to like.
There is a category tree of philosophical domain, yes? Where, like you have to advance from Like, if you want to discuss something political, you have to discuss the ethical system that derived the politic. If you wish to discuss something ethical, you have to discuss the epistemology that derived the facts being used by the ethics. If there's a chain and a series to these things. So if you're getting really good with epistemological discussions, down the road, someone's political position is going to be easy for you to address.
I think cosmic skeptics' expertise is saying things with way too many words and sounding very smart while doing it.
Wow. What's the
T-Jump,
debate,
what are your
teacher?
T-Jump, what are your thoughts on contingency arguments?
They're garbage.
Why?
Because contingency arguments are predicated on something like the PSR, certain versions of the PSR. PSR is rejected by the majority of philosophers and physicists. And
Why would that matter?
I mean, do you think that that's not really an argument against it? If you just simply say that, oh yeah, it's rejected, therefore it's fucking flawed. It seems very redundant.
Well, no. So the PSR is essentially debunked from quantum mechanics, like been proven false.
Well, how did you go about debunking it, if you don't mind me asking, teacher?
The delayed something quantum eraser experiments which show that the consensus, or show why the consensus is that randomness is an actual force in physics.
So are you saying like the PSR simpliciter fails? Like,
Well, so the PSR
because
simpliciter entails the PSR, the whatever the larger one is. So that was, I forget which paper showed that. I think it was a Graham Oppie paper. But yeah, there is no just PSR simpliciter. Any PSR will entail the larger PSR.
Right, so you're saying you cannot have this kind of weaker form of the PSR without like also implying like this stronger version.
Yeah.
So you're saying? Oh.
Yeah, that was, I'm pretty sure that's a paper from Graham Oppie.
You should speak to Guardian of Wisdom, bro. He's got a syllogism proving the PSR, right? Wait, Joster, are you there? Joster. This, I'll post it in the search actually, but this guy, he wrote this, so you could probably, man.
Do you listen to Ken Carson?
I mean, I don't really find much
Wait.
value in going over syllogisms because, like, I mean, I can make a syllogism of anything I want. Doesn't mean it's good or valid. Like, cats are dogs, dogs are chickens. Therefore, cats are chickens. It's a valid syllogism. Modus ponens. Actually, no, that'll be.
Look at the search up, bro.
DJ,
Wow.
what was the what is it called, the quantum mechanics fucking principle that you said?
The principle. So it's delayed something quantum eraser experiment. I forget what it's called.
Delayed quantum eraser. Delayed quantum eraser. Let's. Oh, I can't be asked. Can you explain what it entails?
It was a version of some kind of particle splitting to show that it was purely random and that the collapse would happen after a certain point, requiring it to be random. And if it wasn't random, it would happen at a different point. I forget exactly what the experiment was. I haven't looked at it in a while.
What's your opinion on Kanye West?
He is not smart.
He has too much money, needs to give it away.
Are you smart?
Relatively to Kanye, yes.
No, I mean just like in general.
I mean,
What's your IQ? Have you ever done an IQ test?
I think I did. It was high.
So you could answer.
That's very relative. What high is the basing of what? The
Well,
average?
yeah, IQ tests are always based on the average.
Go from gate, go from gate.
But no, they're really not. They're based off of a variety of questions.
It literally general intelligence.
Yeah, having a high IQ is literally just based on the average. There's an average IQ, and then
No,
high
yeah,
is
but
above.
the high IQ, and you said high. You had said the IQ tests, which is why. I got confused.
Yes, mine was above average.
No, wait, Arjun, we're going grim, go grim.
It is also possible to get a high IQ if you're in an environment in which the people are getting dumb.
What the? Why did the thing?
Yeah, obviously a high IQ, but that doesn't mean that the IQ not relative to anything is going to be
Wait,
high.
so T-John, what branch of
So
philosophy?
or what I mean by that,
What branch of
it's
philosophy?
not high
do you
because
mainly
it's also
study?
a relative thing.
Probably ethics right now.
Oh,
Wait, what
okay.
happened?
Wait, I have a question actually.
Sure.
How much wood do you think a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I'm going to say higher than the mean.
Oh wait, shit! It's my turn. Fuck. Wait, I played. Why did it not register? Fuck.
Yeah, I think it's updating.
Still.
It's doing some silly updating stuff.
This poor server.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I think you can lock these trolls out, like lock them from the room. like so they can't join.
Hi.
No,
Maybe
Tejan
there's a
doesn't have.
common.
He doesn't have perms high enough.
Yeah, I don't have any.
No,
I don't know how to do
Are
that.
you like are you like a model anti-realist, T-Jump? Like, what are your views on that?
On what?
Right. Like what? Like you know, when it comes to like model realism, model
Like
anti-realism.
modal ontic realism, where the worlds actually exist.
Right. Yeah. Like, what's your view on
Yeah,
that?
I'm not
Exactly.
a modal ontic realism. That was actually also on the poll for the Phil Surveys paper. That's no one really accepts that. That's a very silly position.
Yeah, I would agree. Actually, no, I have a. Well, this might be more interesting. Like, what is your view on free will? Right.
Like libertarian doesn't exist. Libertarian free will definitely doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree.
I messed up. Wait,
Well,
T-Jump,
have you?
do you...
All right. Sorry, Beats. I thought I was speaking, bro. Go ahead.
No, you gotta go ahead.
So, like, would you say like the Frankfurt cases are like successful in like establishing like some idea of like some alternative idea of free will, which is like compatible with this idea of like determinism?
Well,
Or would you
compatibilism is
just say
fine. Like, it's just redefining free
Yeah.
will.
So you would say that's okay? Like, it's not like, is that something you would like adhere to, or?
Well, compatibilism is just determinism with a different name. So I'm fine. Like I'm a determinist, so I'm happy to grant that compatibilism is fine. Sure.
Cool.
Have you ever quoted a Solo Victory Cash Cup?
Oh my god.
Wait,
Oh, T-Jump,
no.
do you know who Mike Brigani is?
Nope.
Mike Brandy.
Yeah, Mike Brigani.
Wait, but that was fucking single. Oh, I thought you were single. Fucking hell.
No, it's not Team Phoenix. I just saw his profile picture and his name.
T-Jump, do you base your worldview of what is generally accepted?
In like the consensus of experts, sure. So like the consensus of physicists, I'm going to go pretty much most of the time with, because they are the ones. Like I don't know physics as well as they do, so I would definitely defer to them as much as possible.
It's kind of questionable.
Jump. I have a last question before I go.
Sure.
You think that is there any way to is there an equation which you can determine everything in physics, or is there like does it keep changing? I mean, like does the universe expand in a way where
Well, if the consensus
the
is
math
correct
changes?
that randomness is actually a fundamental part of physics, well then no, you can't. And so like literally there's equations or laws that say they can't describe everything. Like you forget it's momentum and energy or something. I forget which one that is. You can't.
So there's no way to predict
Charge and spin.
Yeah, charge and spin.
There's no way to predict anything, basically. So what you're saying is there's no way to predict anything for sure, right?
Well, no, it's like literally
No,
impossible to know
absolute
both
certainty
things at
doesn't
the same
exist.
time. That's one. It's like a law in physics. You literally can't know both things.
Yeah, you can't have absolute certainty on certain things, but you can have degrees of certainty approaching it, and so that's
So
that's the
there's no
difference.
such thing as like a I mean an equation able to predict anything with 100% certainty.
No, absolute certainty doesn't exist.
Because everything changes.
It
Certainty
can't
doesn't
exist.
exist.
With the
Cannot
data we have
exist.
right now, it can't
Right.
exist.
T-Jump, how much PR do you have?
Oh.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, T-Jump, for the Discord thing, the link. All right.
Yep.
Have a good night, guys. Have a good
Oh,
day.
is T-Jump off? Fledge, bro.
I'm not off
Bye.
Oh, wait, why is he thanking you?
because he's off.
T-Jump, make your turn on chess. Make your turn on chess.
Oh, fuck. Wait. Heike, though.
No, T-Jump, do you read like classical literature? Like, do you like reading, or?
Oh, I'm sped.
I used to. I don't read anymore. I'm not really a fan.
Fair enough, bro. What was I gonna ask? So, do you like generally read like Full of Religion? Like, do you read like the like contemporary like Christian scholars like Swinburne, Sichwadi, and whatnot? Like, you interested in those people? Like, what do you
I
mainly
used
read?
to, yes. I read his book, The Existence of God. There's actually a video of me with all the books I read of the contemporary philosophers, the theistic ones. Haven't read in a while. But yes,
Is there anyone that like stands out to you in like today's age that you think is like decent in terms of like theism?
Rob Coons, yeah.
Yeah. So like more
Robin
so like
Collins.
do you think like the analytical Christians are like probably like more like preferable than these like more like traditional like continental like philosophers or?
I have no idea. I don't branch them out in those kinds of ways. I look at the ideas more than I'm interested in the affiliations.
Right,
I think
right.
he may be asking the difference between continental and analytic philosophies.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm aware of the difference. I'm just asking him like what his preference is, right? I know, like, because like a lot of people on here just find the continental to be like gibberish, you know. They're more so leaning towards like
Do you have an
people like
example of
Robert
one of their
and Gavin.
arguments?
Right. Wait, sorry. What did you say?
Do you have an example of one of their arguments that people would say is gibberish?
It's not so much the arguments. It's just what like those traditions generally say and
You
the
literally
kind of
just said
language.
it was
they
the arguments.
Yeah.
No, I was saying people have a preference towards like analytical philosophers or over continental philosophers, right? Right. So like when I say people say that's gibberish, obviously that's going to like just be based off like how these people speak and the kind of language they use, right?
Well, like gibberish usually entails something that's like incomprehensible in some way.
Right. Like, okay, like for example, like a lot of people in here would say like Platonism is gibberish, right? Whether they're saying that is like because it's like incomprehensible or it's just like the ideas are nonsense, like it could probably mean both things. Like I do, right?
Well, like because Platonism, I wouldn't say is incomprehensible. I think it would be baseless. But you could comprehend, like, yeah, there's this another ontology or whatever, something else exists. Sure, that's fine. There's no reason to believe it, but I wouldn't say it was gibberish.
Would you like have any of those views ever been like appealing to you? Like, have you ever felt like motivated to like adopt some kind of
Platonism?
like Platonic view?
No.
Right. Yeah.
Is fucking Jump your actual surname?
Yeah, that's my actual name.
Yo, T-Jump, don't lose this chess game.
What's it stand for? Like Thomas Jump or like Tim Jump, or is that just like a handle?
Yeah, it's my actual name.
I'm more interested. Yeah, fucking Jump. That's an interesting. What's surname?
T-Jump, have you ever watched Blue Lock or read Blue Lock?
I don't know what that is.
You don't like manga or anything like that? What books do you read?
Nope, I have never read manga. I watch anime. I like anime.
Wait, what's your favorite anime?
Attack on Titan was pretty good.
Do you like Naruto?
Wait, D-Jump, who do you think wins, Naruto or Luffy in a 1v1?
Oh, Luffy's
Obviously
Naruto.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's debate that. You want to debate that?
$50. I charge $50 for debates.
Are you knowledgeable on war, on like war topics?
Not really.
Like not really, like as in like you know the basics, but you just don't know like what it goes into.
I didn't understand that question.
Like by saying that, like, do you know a lot about war, but you just don't. Well, no, you know like the basics about war, but you
don't know what you're saying, bro.
Fuck up, Madara.
Come on, you're selling, bro.
You're talking just to talk, man. You know.
So, what do you think about the song "Veteran" by Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely?
No idea.
You've never
What's your
listened to
opinion on Andrei Tarkovsky?
No idea.
What are your thoughts on the Tule Vide guy?
Don't even know
Not
who that
famous
is.
enough to know.
Huh?
Have you ever listened to Yeet
Is
before?
that Slavoj Žižek? I don't know. I don't have an opinion on him either.
Oh fuck! You actually?
so?
Oh, I just needed to do something stupid.
What do you think of Mafia by Travis Scott?
Who do you think
famous
wins?
enough to care about.
Like Yujiro Hanma or like Saitama? Like
His name is cool. That's what matters.
Yo, teacher, let's do a crossverse, and I'll
I think I could win grand finals if I had a
Zen.
Zen.
Shishman, teacher, let's debate, and if you win by verdict of a judge, like Naruto vs Luffy, and then if you win by verdict of a judge, I'll pay this.
No, I require payment first.
That's a claim. Can you go ahead and prove that?
Yo, TJ, why do you like money so much?
Because I'm greedy.
D-Jump, are you from Tamagotchi
Yeah.
game? Are you like, you know?
What?
Oh, you don't know what
No.
Tamagotchi game is? Flidge, bro.
Not a clue.
T-Jump, which what you think about eternal universe theory?
I'm
Like
so
you subscribe to it?
Probably. I think, yeah, eternal universe theory is like the cyclic kind or the necessary kind. Either one are both good. They're both better than a god theory for sure.
And they're
Okay,
both
buddy.
consistent with the data we have.
I mean, that sounds like a claim to me.
Yo, T-Jump, you could have taken my horse, but you didn't take it.
Which one?
T-Jump, have you ever played Minecraft?
The one on G5.
Yes,
See,
I see
T-Jump, I
that.
know someone named Blizz. I know someone named Blizz Riley. He's really good at Minecraft.
Why Blizz, bro? I just got mending villagers for us, bro. Fuck Blizz. The fuck?
Wait, got me? Duck on duck!
Bro got nervous.
Wait, T-Jump, do you go live every day?
No.
Do you like monetize that? Like, do you get money back from going live, or is it just for?
Yeah, he gets 30k.
Wow.
He does.
30k? Like he gets 30,000 from going live?
No.
Oh, follow me, 100!
guys.
Full
That would be
bees!
nice.
Full bees! Full bees! Full bees! Gets me, gets me!
Whoops, didn't mean to do that.
100!
Wow.
No!
There you go. What happens? Where did I go? I moved there. Move there.
Yo, T-Jump, I think I'm pinned here, bro.
That is
Some
nice.
of our guests have the emotional control of
I
it.
don't give you permission.
There's
T-Jump,
this
I
guy
don't,
named Nico. I think he would beat you in a 1v1.
T-Jump, I don't give you permission to eat my pawn, okay?
Wait, Walker.
it's against my
Like, what are
consent.
your
Don't-
beliefs,
don't
Walker?
Your pawn. Why would I attack your pawn?
Don't please, okay? It's against my consent.
With the bishop? Why would I pin my own bishop? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but I don't give consent. Either way. I don't know why I played it there.
Yo, T-Jump, you seem pretty good at this game, T-Jump.
T-Jump, what do you think of bar? The word bar?
Bach?
No,
No,
ba.
B-A-A, like with
Yeah,
like the German medicine thing.
like Bamu.
No opinion.
T-Jump, you're my
That's
Bamu.
really sad.
Bamu T-Jump.
T-Jump, I still think the earth is flat. Please debate me.
What video games did you used to play when you worked in that shit?
Wolverine. That was a good one. There's Mad Carts. There's a Princess game.
Wait, what
So
you say? Work
you
as
never
now?
played like you never played like there's a game called CS:GO. You ever played that?
CS:GO.
Okay, bro.
that's not an Activision.
I feel like that's racially
That's not an
motivated.
Activision game. What are you talking about? Or I played for Activision.
I think that's.
T-Jump, I'm gonna win this game, bro. I'm gonna win this.
The Activation shit though, like so, like would you not play games in your free time?
Wait, Pete, are you Eastern Orthodox?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Wait. Are you like Roko or?
Am I what?
Are you Roko or?
What the fuck is a roll core?
Roko's like Russian Orthodox Church, like outside of Russia, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't want to use jargon too much there, bro.
My bad, restart. Wait, so you are like you were
Orthodox,
like a
yes.
convert, or like you were born into
Oh.
like a?
I'm technically both. I was born into a Russian Orthodox Church, became atheist, became deist, became Orthodox again. Probably need to go
Right.
rebaptized.
Did you have to be like re-chrismated when you apostated, or did they just like did you just do like penance?
I don't fucking know, man. I probably should. Wait, what the fuck did you ask?
Like, so you know, like
Franklin.
generally, like, all right, so like when someone's Catholic and they want to become Orthodox, like either Oriental or Eastern, like they go through the process of being catechized and confirmed, right?
Like fucking changing churches or like a denomination.
Yeah,
starts
like
process?
you know, so like if you're baptized, right, your baptism's valid as long as it's in the Trinitarian formula. But like you do have to be chrismated or confirmed to be a part of some church.
I mean, I wouldn't assume. I wouldn't assume that you'd have to do a process from one church to another when you go from atheist. to
Yeah,
atheist.
that's what I'm thinking, because obviously you left and you came back to the faith. But like, have you read like Gregory Palamas and like the people in your tradition, or?
No, not really. I mean, I guess my theistic knowledge is gonna be just limited to I mean, I converted what, like fucking 7, 8 months ago.
What,
I want to say.
what are you
So I've
talking
never read
about?
it. You asked me if I read if you ask people, you asked if I read books on people within my religion, correct?
Gregory Palamas, yeah, he's pretty like.
Yeah, and I was replying to that. The fact, no, I
Yeah.
haven't actually read a lot of books regarding my religion because I like became a revert off of actual like information and personal choice not long ago. So no, I haven't.
Right, no, that's fine. Yeah, you don't have to be like super well versed on this stuff. It's like okay. Wait, so Walker, are you there? The guy with Matt Dillahunty is his profile picture. Oh, is that Matt
No,
Dillahunty?
that's
I can't
that's
really tell.
actually Walker. He looks like Matt Dillahunty, but it is not.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like Matt Dillahunty for a second. Okay. Wait, what are you talking about?
T-Jump, earlier you said that you think what is it called randomness somehow goes against the contingency argument, but random things still have a causal relation. You have to have something to derive it from.
No. So the consensus is actually randomness is fundamental. So it's truly, truly random, uncaused, zero cause of any kind. The fact that it could be a hidden variable is irrelevant. That's one of the questions on the poll: is could it be a hidden variable? And the answer is the consensus is no.
Wait,
uncaused randomness, uncaused like the actual fundamental aspect of randomness,
Yes.
sure, but the material which is deriving the thing that's random probably should be caused, no?
Well,
Yo, Peach, you seem like a bad debater.
Prove that, pussy. Sorry. Didn't say that.
Wait, Tejan, by randomness, what do you mean? Do you mean like there are these kind of like quantum indeterminacies, or like how do you cash that out?
Yes. So I'm just using the
Wait, I have a green gatekeeper.
the question on the paper. There's like a poll of physicists that asks, "Is randomness fundamental?" And they say yes. So randomness in physics, as in some things are caused which have absolutely no precedent factors.
Okay, right.
Self-causing entity.
Well, would you say that that arises from some kind of like epistemic inaccessibility?
No, that's one of the
So, like-
questions. That's the hidden variable. That's one of the two questions.
Right.
Four questions on there, and the answer is no. It is fundamental randomness.
How do they? All right, yeah. I'm like pretty ignorant on that. I don't like know much about science. Like I'm aware of like these things. Like I'm friends with people that are like pretty knowledgeable. But how would they go about determining that? Like how would they establish there isn't some kind of like underlying?
They did an
like,
experiment
right.
called this delayed something quantum eraser, and that experiment is meant to differentiate randomness from non-randomness. And so the point of the experiment is to test for randomness, and they confirmed that the randomness was in fact a fundamental aspect of reality.
Wait, I'm confused. In the sense that okay, so you're saying that randomness is a fundamental aspect, right?
Yep.
So in the sense that it functions as a cause, presumably for future events.
Yep.
Correct. For example, okay, but the argument for contingencies in general, like what is it called? Like general arguments in like that aspect, for example, I don't know, any basically okay, whatever, any contingency argument, right? It's still going to be derived off of the physical matter, not the I guess way that is actualized per se, or the thing that's actualizing it. I don't think. Or are you saying that?
No, because the randomness is literally uncaused. Nothing causes it. That's the point. That's the point of the argument. So it can't be like a PSR where it's some other kind of, I forget what the term they use is, where it's caused by some efficient cause or whatever. Like no. So the point is there is no cause.
Wow. So there's just like no causative explanation to that thing, right?
Yep.
It just is.
Yep.
So do you deny like ex nihilo nihilo fit, or?
From nothing comes. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So you just okay. Right. Fair enough. Yeah. I know. Like. Yeah. I guess because we're all going to have these kind of like metaphysical assumptions and these principles or like axioms, but I guess if you just deny it, then.
My bad.
Yo, T-Jump, give me a queen.
The only
please.
ones that matter are the ones that comport to reality, so it doesn't matter.
Wait.
Right.
my
Sure.
bad.
Yeah.
T-Jump, wait, can you repeat that? Because I wasn't, someone walked in my room, so I was deafened. Is the argument basing just the fact that is it going against that everything has a cause?
Yes.
And then you're saying it's a fundamental force, so it's not just our descriptive thing.
Yes,
right?
that's literally the question. The question is there an unknown variable? Is it something we just don't know about yet? Or is randomness fundamental and irreducible? Those are the two bottom questions. And it's fundamental and irreducible are the ones that get like a huge proportion, like 80%, I think it was, of the polls of philosophers. So it's not just apparent, it's absolutely fundamental.
And you think this is like like something extrinsic? Is that the word to use? Probably something extrinsic to the existence of the entities. So, for example, if I exist, do you think that it's fundamentally a property that I'm, I guess, quote unquote random? Or because I'm confused on what does it mean by randomness in this instance? Because it could apply to a lot of things, right? It could apply to choices. It could apply to oh fuck, you made a move. I didn't even notice this shit. Can you explain like what is the randomness actually affecting? I guess that would be the
Collapse of a particle, essentially. So it affects sort of everything, but mostly just collapse of particles. Like the decay of a uranium atom, it happens randomly.
Okay, and so you said it's a fundamental force, right?
Yep.
What does that entail? Hold up.
It means that it's not made of any parts. That doesn't have any. It's not like a built by other things. It is.
But okay, so why would you be reliant on such a force if every single force is technically aligned by this fact that it's
Wait, say that again.
Are other forces reduced? Wait. Huh? Not made up of any parts. Look that. Wait. Oh, I just have to see it. Okay. I should have been paying attention.
Take a second to think, beast.
Okay, shut up, matter, bro. I'm doing like 7 things at once. Okay, right. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, randomness of fundamental particles. So is a force or this particular force? You think that it holds an actualization of some sorts, or do you think that it's just the linguistic way we describe the process?
No, it's an actual thing. So not just an apparent force. Actual real thing.
It's an actual real thing. And what is represented then if it's not represented through the actual particles collapsing?
What does that mean? It's represented through, like, it causes those things, but it is uncaused itself.
Right. But like, I'm confused because what is the thing that's causing? What is like randomness, right? Like you're saying that randomness is the particles collapsing on themselves, but then
randomness causes the particles to collapse. That's the phenomenon we're observing that is affected by randomness and undetermined by things.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought that you meant that randomness is okay. Then what is randomness? I guess is gonna be the question. I want to ask.
A thing that happens uncaused, essentially.
Thing that happens uncaused. So it would still be an essential property of anything that's uncaused, so it doesn't actually exist exterior to the.
It's an uncaused cause.
Like if you want to understand the definition of randomness in physics, you can just Google the definition of randomness in physics. It's not really a.
Well, I mean, the way that you're describing it, I'm imagining randomness, or at least under your worldview, it's something that is like an actual physical being that is causing the particles to collapse, rather than being part of or I guess part of the existence of everything, of every particle, right? Because if everything's made out of particles, randomness causes particles to collapse. I'd assume that when you say randomness, it's just like intrinsically of particles. Or not intrinsically, but you know.
Well, intrinsic of reality. So it's intrinsic part of reality.
Hey, it's me, Sakazuki.
Okay, matter, bro. That seems very counterintuitive.
I agree. That's why I said I don't like it. It is not something I am a fan of, but it is the case either way.
Jump, can you prove you exist?
There is a kind of poetic way of viewing it once that I heard somebody describe, and it was that because we have a definite position in space, things like spin and charge at some point for us are going to become undefined. But you have to extend your search for knowledge so far that it's like in order to study the water, you have to touch the water. And where you touch the water, that's the only place you can touch, because that's the only place that's not moving. Because ordinarily, the quantum realm is in constant motion. So it's so in motion, we can't ever know where anything stops. And so that there are visualizations that you can use to try to understand the nature of what's being discussed. But the end result is that we still have a specific set of data that points to a specific set of solutions to the problem if we want to extrapolate beyond what we know. And quantum uncertainty is a thing. It's just a part of how like some deeper level of existence functions, is that it's random and there's nothing we can do about it.
It's like the second law of thermodynamics.
No, that's in a closed system.
Well, the point is that there's a reason why we can't like fully efficiently harvest heat energy, because
it's a
that
fundamental
energy
part of the nature of our local space. So
fundamentally tries to expand in almost every direction, like affects like every particle, and we can't get it down to a less excited state and harvest that energy once more.
Okay, wait, let me close out.
Yeah, but that's still only talking about our local state, not a quantum state. So we don't have a theory of everything, so we don't know how to map back and forth between the two, even though it's clear that our reality is constituted on these two distinct states, quantum states and classical states, if you'd like to call them. And we just don't have the math of going back and forth, but it doesn't change the fact that there's still two states of reality.
Do you think? Wait, teacher, do you think that randomness functions? I'm still trying to grasp my head around like what you mean by it, by that randomness.
So stop asking me. Just Google the physics definition. That would be the best solution.
I will in a second, but I do want to know one more opinion then. Don't you think that, by the way that you described it so far, I'll Google it afterwards and fucking read something on it. But by the way that you described it, don't you think that logic would abide by this, or not? Like the theories of thoughts, for example, would have the same, what is it called? I guess the same, be the equally of a counter to the argument as this quote unquote randomness, because I'd say that's it, I guess beyond the quantum realm, it seemed to function the same way, right? The three laws of thought.
No.
So why wouldn't you use that?
That by definition
the question
isn't
again?
true.
Why wouldn't you use? By the way, they describe randomness that it quote unquote like dictates all of reality, or is fundamental to reality. Wouldn't the three laws of thought be equally valid of an argument or a counter argument, if you will, to the to contingency arguments, as it's also quote unquote uncaused and it causes everything to abide by it?
Well, if you thought the laws caused things, yes, but I don't think laws of logic don't cause anything. They're just figments of language to describe reality.
Yeah, but it
The
sounds...
The Greeks called them the laws of thought because they were describing the consistent nature of our thinking. We think in discretes with labels in consistency, even if it's just ourself is the first thing that we're labeling, ourself versus the not self. So they had an entire idea that all the laws of logic, as you're calling them, were just the same pattern of thinking that we do use for ourselves apply to the things that are clearly not ourselves. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but
it means logic doesn't come anywhere. It's just a part of the nature of reason. No, we can't deny the reasoning is going on, so logic is involved. And yeah, there may be a solution for where reasoning comes from. We don't know, but it is the only game we're playing with right now, because we can't go past beyond the fact that we're thinking about ourselves, thinking.
Yo, Walker, I got a question for you.
I mean, what I felt, at least what I understood from T-Jump's explanation, that's what he meant by caused randomness, is in the sense that it's like fundamental aspect of reality. But so are you saying that it's like an actual... Okay, yeah, this is just repeating, I guess. That's
it's a good way to think about it. Randomness is an actual force that exists, like gravity.
But gravity is dependent on other things, right? Gravity is dependent on space-time.
Gravity is a function of space-time, yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's everything is energy in some form. That's the basic truism of the universe, is that once we start talking about things that are pure energy forms, our math breaks down a little bit, but it's still true that everything is energy in some form.
I would still align with that, I'd say. But alright, I guess. Wait, DJ, hop into another game of chess.
I actually have to get ready for a date, so I'm going to hop off pretty soon. But so I think I played you, Moji, and Madar at the same time, and I won all games. I'm happy.
Yeah, okay, buddy. I was playing Minecraft.
I wasn't trying. I wasn't trying, Tito.
And the excuses start.
Okay,
GG.
bro.
Tito, we can debate if the Earth's flat right now. We
We
can
can
debate if the Earth's flat right
go. We can go tournament win for a tournament win, bro. And I don't know.
All right, I'm going to